Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Saying, underneath, caught, touchdown, Ennis. Julian saying, putting it on the money.
Second and 10, and that's what's been working. Himby, stiff arm, and a race. Touchdown, Roman Himby.
King, downfield strike. Wow, what an effort by Ellis Robinson with the interception.
Empty backfield. Daniels on the pair that's intercepted. Bray Hubbard for Alabama.
Parker's got room, makes the catch at the 45. He's got the midfield. Parker the 45, Parker the 40, Parker through tackles, 40 to 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. He's gone! It's a house call for Parker Kingston, and the Cougs do put the hammer down on special teams.
Let's go, Parker Kingston. And Messemaker will stop and go. And Wyatt Young running through tackles. A stiff arm. He's trying to go all the way. Wyatt Young, reckless. Charlotte just 2 for 9 on third down. This is a 3rd and 3. Pressure coming. Loftus flush, and he is taken down a long way in the backfield by T.J. Smith.
That's end zone. Hazley touchdown, Duke.
Good morning. Welcome in Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centrist Federal Credit Union. I'm Ravi Lulla. Don't worry, DB will be joining me shortly. He got delayed a little on drop-off duty, so he will be joining me here in a few minutes. In the meantime, since I have to ask somebody, Shane, what's up, buddy?
What's up? How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
No, good. Thank you.
Yeah, you staying warm out there?
A
A little better than yesterday, at least?
little better than yesterday.
Yeah. Well, we'll have DB join us here in a few minutes. The lineup for today, and this is the earliest the lineup has or will ever go out. So mark this down. It is a moment in time. 8 o'clock is our guy, Tim VERGHESE from Inside Nebraska, as always. 9 o'clock, we've got a special guest that I think you guys are really going to like. We've had him on before, Adam McCLINTOCK from Matrix Analytical. He's involved with analytics. He does some of the best playoff prediction rankings in the business and does a really good job analyzing coach data as well and takes out all the kind of personality bias and things like that. So we'll talk to Adam McCLINTOCK at 9. And then at 9:30, another special guest, which I think have talked to before, but it's been a minute. Scott STROHMEIER, the head football coach at Iowa Western. They have a big playoff matchup this weekend. So we will talk to Coach Stroh from Iowa Western at 9:30 as well. So that is the lineup for today. And the very earliest you will ever get a lineup from this show. Half the days we don't get to it at all ever. So
I was surprised you didn't want me to read off the lineup.
I could. We could start the show that way every day.
And
No, you don't. You don't want that much.
second thoughts.
You don't want that much responsibility.
Yeah.
Fair enough, Shane. I did want to say there was a couple things I wanted to get to real quick here, and one of them is around this time of year every year, Spotify puts out their Wrapped, where it tells you how much you listen to what music and podcasts and everything like that. And it's been super cool from all of you guys that have tagged me and DB and Hurrdat Sports in all of your Hurrdat or in all of your Spotify Wrapped playlist things on Twitter and other places on the internet, because it is, and I know people say this a lot where they go, oh, it's an honor, it's humbling. It really is like super humbling to see how much time you all invest in DB and myself. And I know we're a little bit past Thanksgiving here, but I did just want to express how grateful I am to all of you, because I mean, to get into our top listeners, I'll give you some numbers here. To get into our top listeners, you had to listen to this show for 30,000 minutes this year. That's just on Spotify. I don't know what the Apple numbers are. I know that we saw some YouTube top listeners as well. But on Spotify, you had to listen to this show for 30,000 minutes. That's 500 hours of your lives that you chose to spend with us over the last year. I broke that down. That's almost 13 full weeks of work. That's all. That's basically a third of the year in work weeks that you've chose to spend with us all. So thank you so much for that. That's incredible. And I hope that we can continue to bring you something you find worth investing in that much over the next year and the years to come as well. But because of that, I sort of feel an obligation, right? I've been debating whether or not I wanted to get into this, but I sort of feel an obligation to explain myself. And I've had some people on Twitter and wherever else and on the show, ask about like, why did I pick 10-2 coming into this year? And I thought this was a good opportunity to kind of explain my thought process. Because if you're willing to invest 500 hours of your year into us, the least I can do is tell you how I got there, right? So from a very practical football standpoint, and I said this before the year, and I said this before the season, was I thought special teams by itself was worth 2 more wins, right? I didn't think that was a hot take. Last year, I think if Mike Eckler is the special teams coordinator, they're an 8-win team instead of a 6-win team. That's pretty self-explanatory. I then thought that Dylan Raiola and Dana Holgorsen together for a full year was worth another 1 to 2 wins. That gets you to 9 or 10 right there. It wasn't this big elaborate, thing that I went into, but then I also look at the schedule and I go, hey, it's why I kept asking DB afterwards, were there any games that you looked at and say, hey, those are games Nebraska's incapable of winning? And he said no, and I'd ask again, and he said no, and he looked like he wanted to hit me if I kept asking, so I didn't ask again. But I agreed. I didn't think there was any games Nebraska was incapable of winning. And I understand recent history, or not so recent history as we go back and back and back further to Nebraska not really living up to who we want them to be as a football program, would tell you that taking what I viewed to be a best-case scenario, which was 10-2, would be kind of a foolish errand here. And I get that. I really do. I can go into like, well, a lot of that was, Scott Frost or Mike Riley or whatever in the past and explain to you why this year is different. And I believe that to be true. But there's a larger reason why I sort of bend towards optimism when it has to do with Nebraska football in particular. And if you'll allow me here, and frankly, you can't really stop me. If you'll allow me to kind of go back in time here a little bit, one of the reasons I lean optimistic, not just in Nebraska, but in a lot of things, despite the sometimes rough, a-hole type demeanor that I have, a lot of the reason that I lean optimistic is because of my history with Nebraska football, ironically enough. And I'll take you all the way back to 1994, right? That's the first Nebraska football season I remember. And I've talked about this a little bit in the past, but I kind of want to give you the full picture here. That's the first Nebraska football season I remember consuming at all, right? I don't remember anything about 1993. I have gone back and watched some of those games since then, but that was not something I experienced in real time. So I'm 7 in 1994, and I'm experiencing in real time for the first time Nebraska football. Obviously, that's a very good team, but what we forget about that team, as DB brings up reasonably regularly, is that team struggled more than we remember. You've got a third-string quarterback starting a game. Obviously, Tommy Frazier goes out and misses most of the season. You've got games against like Wyoming that are way closer than we think they should be. But my first experience with Nebraska football was that they would figure out a way. And at that age, that has an outsized impact on sort of how you view life. And maybe I'm just weird, but that's what it did for me. And most of that season, I listened to those games on the radio. That's why I have such a strong affinity for Kent Pavelka. He is the Nebraska football voice of my youth. And the first game I watched start to finish on TV was the Orange Bowl against Miami that year. And if you're 7 years old And that's the first football game you watch from start to finish on TV. And it involves your home state and a team that I remember. I remember people at church running up to that game telling me, oh, Nebraska doesn't win these games. Oh, Nebraska, there's no way Nebraska. Oh, Miami's too good. And that's sort of ringing around in my head, but I don't have the trauma of the previous losses because, like, at that point, I didn't even know what happened in 93. I'm 7 years old. The internet doesn't exist. I have no idea what happened in 1993 even, much less 1983 or any of the years before that where Nebraska had failed to come through. So my only point of reference for Nebraska is them coming from behind from 2 scores to beat this Miami team that everybody told me was super scary. And if you look at the players on the roster, especially that defense, you're like, yeah, that's a pretty scary team. But that is my starting point, not just for Nebraska football, but that's one of my earliest memories in life. You know, you get some spotty things before that, but kind of when I'm 7 years old, it's also the year I was diagnosed with diabetes, that's when, like, I start remembering daily life on a regular basis. And so I've got this, as I go through my life, I've got this memory of Nebraska doing a thing nobody told me they could do, and everybody frankly told me they couldn't do, seared into my mind. And it was sort of the catalyst for my entire life to believe that good things can and do happen. And that was reinforced later that year, or that next summer, when I met Brooke Behringer, and he was at a camp that I was at for kids with diabetes, and he gave me hope and that the good things could happen. And so I've got these back-to-back moments within a year of my life where Nebraska football has taught me unequivocally that good things can and do happen. And I carried that with me forever, if I'm being honest with you. And even when a bad thing happens, right? What I learned there, you know, let's say when Brooke passed away, I was heartbroken. Like, that crushed me. He was one of my early heroes. But what I learned in that moment was that heartbreak is temporary, but hope is forever. So when I go and I look at a Nebraska football season and I see any reason or room for hope, that's what I'm going to grab onto. So if I look at a schedule and I see 10-2s on the table, that's what I believe is possible because I've seen it happen before, and I believe it can and will happen again. So I know that some people got frustrated with me and they're like, Ravi, you kind of got our hopes up. And I appreciate the trust that you guys put in DB and myself. I really do. But I do want you to understand, when it comes to Nebraska football especially, I'm going to lean towards the hope that I find in this team because they have instilled that hope in me for basically my entire life. They're the reason that I believed I could do this job without having any training or experience or anything like that. And then I could say things to DB 7 years ago, like, hey, someday we're going to do a show together, and him not laugh me out of the room. It's sort of the foundation for all the good things I believe are capable in life. So when I look at a football schedule, I'm going to believe good things are capable there as well. That's my little spiel. I appreciate you guys indulging me here for a minute. DB just rolled in, so we'll take a quick break. We'll get started here, and we'll kind of get back more to my normal personality where I'm going to be pretty freaking mad if Penn State falls ass backwards into a good football coach like it appears they might.
So is this the moment I should be asking for a raise?
Hey, that's above my pay grade, bud.
If you're being nice,
you got to ask somebody else.
Oh,
you missed it. I'm done being nice now. You're a couple minutes late. Shane, that's what happens when you're on delay, buddy. Come on. We'll be right back with more Hurrdat Sports Live.
You know, I think the players probably feel it more, to be honest, because they're the ones that they're seeing and reading and hearing more of the outside noise I think as a coach, you're a little more focused on the task at hand, and there's a lot, especially into these tournament weekends where you're prepping for 3 teams in 3 days. So there's a lot that goes into that, and you're still doing the other parts of your job. So I certainly can empathize with the players that they're feeling a lot of pressure and expectations. And I think that's a staff's job to take as much of that off of them as we possibly can, whether it's through messaging, the way we coach, the way we're communicating. I mean, there weren't really too many lows. Just in general, there's there's things here and there. People get tired, a little banged up, but yeah, there really weren't too many lows. But that's what I mean. We were out of them quick.
I mean, a little bit, but it's mostly just kind of that outside noise that we try and not listen to. And even just like throughout the season, it felt like, oh, we have to stay undefeated. We have to keep this set streak. And it's at the end of the day, again, that's not our end goal. And now we are to the point where we're trying to get towards our end goal, but not putting any added pressure on that. We want to go out there and we want to play our best volleyball every day and every night. And whether that's in the regular season or in the postseason, we want to do the same thing and we want to go out and win. So, I mean, I think there definitely is a little bit, but a lot of it is the outside noise and just kind of trying to keep that out of our minds.
We're in the neighborhood, just down the street. With a wide variety of home equity products to help you create a relaxing oasis. So you can kick back and relax in comfort. Centris Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
It's an interesting team because I don't feel like we have to be humbled or anything. I feel like this team is very humble, especially for the amount of success we've had. So, yeah, I don't feel like they need to be pumped up. I just think our messaging is going to be pretty consistent to what it's been the whole year. Is, we're going to play a lot of great teams. We got to continue to trust what we've been doing. That's made us great. And I don't know. I think it's going to be the same.
Well,
welcome back.
In case you were wondering.
Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. Can I ask you a question about that?
I think it's going to be the same.
I hope it's going to be the same.
I told you, man. Her delivery, the cadence, all of it. I'm like, yep, they'll be just fine.
So, when you're that good, do I really want you humble?
Well, I mean,
is there a difference between humble and hungry? Or is that what she means?
I think when she says that, I think she just means that they have a confident self-awareness.
That they haven't won anything yet?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll take that. Okay, that makes sense.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's like, because I think quietly, one of the things that she's probably had to talk to them about is you guys were supposed to have been good before and didn't finish the deal.
Yeah. No, you're right. I mean, that's fair.
I mean, they were pretty good a year ago before it came to a crashing halt. So it's like, I think she's aware of that. And how many times, like it was blasphemy, but part of it is because I feel the way I do about Coach Cook. But weren't we saying, like, gosh, like, it's been a while since they won one as, like, top seeds. Like, do we want to use that word? Like, we said that.
Like, underperformed? Choke?
Something like
that. In that neighborhood?
So it's like.
No, I'm past that.
Yeah. I mean, last year especially, after Nebraska lost.
Yeah, they were dominant.
Yeah. And
through 98.6% of that season.
And we're like, oh, man, so they had their trip up the previous year. They learned from it. Here they are. Yep. So it is if you say humble in that sense means, hey.
That's what I think, because
you haven't won anything yet.
So dialed.
That makes total sense. Right? My thought was just like, hey, I want my players to, like, know they're good.
No, they know.
Yeah, that's kind of what I mean.
Did you look at the postseason awards? It was ridiculous.
Like, I'm not super interested in Harper Murray being like, oh, we're just doing our best. Like, no, I want him to be about that life. But
because Harper has to understand. I think she understands something. I mean, I see her on campus all the time, but she's at a lot of sporting events. But anywho, she's actually probably underappreciated.
Yeah.
Like, she doesn't get a lot of the shine she probably should get because her team is there's so many other good pieces.
I'll say other players have elevated.
She does a lot of good things.
Mm-hmm.
She's outstanding.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, was that you I was arguing with? Who was I arguing with about Harper Murray's was it in the volleyball?
It was in our group chat.
Yeah. I'm like,
you're Harper's, like you can make an argument she's underrated.
Yeah.
Or underappreciated, whatever. I don't remember.
She's pretty sweet.
Yeah, 100%. And a lot
but I mean, she plays with Jackson and Bergen Riley, and I mean, Andy.
Pretty good.
It was no longer a hot take when I said it before the season started.
Yeah.
She may very well be the best athlete
on campus.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to fight you.
She's incredible.
That's proven out. I feel like Harper does a lot of things that allow, and I don't know volleyball as well as some of you guys do, but I feel like Harper does a lot of things that allow everyone else to be who they are and be who they can be, right? Like, it allows them to get to their whatever level they've gotten to. And that's obviously super valuable, but it can be overlooked sometimes. Like, it seems like, not that we forgot about her because she's pretty present, but it kind of seems like on the volleyball court, it seems like we forgot about her a little bit.
Yeah. They're loaded. Yeah. So I walked in, and I apologize. That was earlier.
Oh, you're good.
Than I thought. I think I told you 7. Did I say 12?
You said you'll be there by 7:15, and you rolled up at 7:09.
Yeah. So you were in the middle of a monologue.
Yeah.
What on earth could have gotten you to almost come across as apologetic?
It wasn't really apologetic. So here's what it was.
I mean, full disclosure, I came in on, I was like, well, here I was ready to stir up some controversy with Donnie Raiola and Emma Johnson. And you're over here being nice.
Yeah, no,
Which by the way, shout out Dad getting Zoe to school on time.
There you go. Are we looking for a fist bump, or I didn't know if you were just doing like a Black Power thing or what? Well, MRI was doing it yesterday, so I didn't know.
He said you can't see me,
but I got my right fist in the air.
You need to go back and listen to that. He said that was.
He's phenomenal.
He's always good.
Yeah, that was really good yesterday.
Just thoughtful. Though.
Yeah, but no, I got there from. A lot of people have been tagging us in their Spotify Wrapped things and like how many minutes they listen to us.
Listen, thank you guys, man.
And so I was thanking them for that, and I was also saying like I felt like I had an obligation to kind of explain how I get to some of my conclusions, and so that got into the how, because like if you're gonna invest that much time in me, like I owe you a little bit.
Yeah,
and so
the funny thing about that.
What's that?
Is I think that's. I mean, however crazy my takes are, I think the only thing people really care about is because I give you, like, it's just me.
Yeah.
Which is the thing that I never wanted to do when I got into this ridiculous business.
Yeah. I think that's
one
of the things they like.
I ain't sharing.
Why some people spent 500 hours this year listening to us is because I think we're pretty real. Like
I heard the 10-2 and I was like, oh, shoot. Then I walk in, I sit down, I read T-Mac's deal, and I was like, wait a minute. Are you explaining away why you like 10-2?
Not explaining away, just explaining why I lean toward the optimist side of my projections. Like I understood 8-4. I'll be honest, I didn't see 7-5. I did not see that on the table. I really didn't. I understood 8-4. I understood 9-3. I looked at the schedule. That's why I kept asking you, were they incapable of winning any of these games? And so I'm going to lean toward the optimist side of things because of how, if I think there's a hopeful path forward, that's the one I'm going to take, especially with Nebraska football. And so I saw 10-2 as not even a crazy reach, but it was on the optimistic side of things. And so that's generally the route I'm going to take, unless you've got something like a Scott Frost situation where I just don't think there is hope for him personally to turn it around. I still believe there was hope.
Oh, Ravi, the eternal optimist.
I still thought there was hope for the program to turn it around after him, right? Like I know, like you remember when we're in the throes of the Scott Frost purgatory, right? Where people are like, well, if it doesn't work with Scott Frost, who is it possibly going to work with?
Yeah.
And I'm never going to subscribe to that.
Oh, I know.
If it doesn't work with Matt Rule, who I have a huge affinity for, I'm never going to subscribe to if it doesn't work with Matt Rule, who's it going to work with? I'm always going to believe that if Nebraska gets it right, they will get right.
I just don't know why you feel – and it's cool. I like that. I like that you're authentic and super transparent. And by the way, why Jay would go to you, I'm still miffed.
Because I'm the dog person. Everybody knows that. Like, if you want something about a dog, like, you go to me.
Well, I read the text, and I was like –
that was the funniest part. You're like, what dog?
Yeah, what – like, what are we talking about? And why are you asking Ravi?
So I got a text yesterday on a group chat with DB and his wife. She goes, hey, Ravi, will you be a reference for a dog for us? Also, can I have your email? And I was like, yeah, sure, of course. The very next...
I'm in Nebraska City. So I look at it and I was like,
that was the best part. I laughed out loud because I was driving, so I pushed it.
What did I say? Did I say wait a minute? What dog?
Yeah, you go, wait a second, what dog? Yeah, like I assumed since you were on the group text that you two had discussed adopting a dog. And you're just like, wait a minute, what dog? And I lost it. Like I didn't reply because it sent me.
But that's something I would say, right? It's like, and I was like, oh,
can I pet that dog?
The special needs dog.
Yeah, may or may not have spina bifida. We do not know.
That story was wild. I was like, what? But P is a cutie pie. Micah was out.
Great looking dog. I mean, great looking dog.
He said too many wrinkles. I was like,
that's what
Buddha had wrinkles.
Oh, so that's what little Frenchies look like.
Yeah, Biggie though.
Struggling.
I mean, every day I'm like terrified.
Yeah. It's hard when it gets to that point.
I mean, but I'm not going to even hold you. Like, I get mad if he doesn't use the bathroom when he's supposed to.
Yeah. He's getting to that age that It's tough.
Nah, I ain't having it.
Yeah, man. I get it. I went through this a couple years ago with Tally. Like I get it. Like her last like 8 months was pretty rough.
Oh, I ain't doing this for 8 months. I love the dude.
Yeah. It was tough.
Although I do baby him now. Like I carry him most places.
Yeah.
He walks just fine.
Yeah.
But sometimes when he's been laying down and he stretches and he shakes, he'll like knock himself over. And I was like, oh God, you're weak as all get out. It takes him 22 minutes to eat. And yes, I counted.
Yeah.
Because I needed to know how early in advance I needed to get up.
Yeah, I get it. That makes sense.
22 minutes
to eat.
That's
wild.
It's like,
that's wild.
I'm like, what are we doing?
That was the funniest thing is like when Tally was getting sick at the end, they're like, well, at some point she'll lose her appetite. That girl never lost her appetite.
Yeah.
Like it was clear it was time to go. And literally, so we
this dude will get the tummy gurgles too, and I'm shutting him down immediately.
Like, absolutely not. Not on my floor.
I'm like, huh. We made this may be a while.
Like we took her in to put her down at the end, and we bought her some chicken nuggets on the way. She loved chicken nuggets. And so we're like, hey, one last little treat, you go out on a high. So they give you like a sedative. She loved McDonald's chicken nuggets. So they give her a little sedative so she's peaceful or whatever. And I was like, there was a chicken nugget in front of her. I go, hey, I think the sedative's starting to wear off. They're like, no, that thing lasts for 12 hours. She's just fighting through it to try and get the chicken nugget.
Oh, that's kind of cute. Listen, I have enough issues.
Yeah.
I'm not going through another.
Yeah. That's tough.
I don't know what I would do.
Yeah.
Because it's never happened to me before.
Really? This
No.
your first one?
Yeah. And
Tally was my first one. It's hard.
Because there were all sorts of issues on a multitude of levels when Caleb was about to be born.
Mm-hmm.
So like that morning is very chaotic and very mean-spirited.
Mm-hmm.
It was do this, do that. Like there's just a lot going on. And it was, oh, by the way, get rid of the dogs. And I was like, huh? Dead set, like, get rid. It might have been the whole nesting thing. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
But so cleaning up, it's like, no, get rid of the dogs. So dead dog series is a true story.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
So I called a couple people. They're like, oh, you can take them to the Humane Society. Like they'll take care of them, find a place. Because I had 2 Chihuahuas.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I got there, I was kind of panicking, right? Because you're like milliseconds away probably, or at least a day or so away from giving birth to, your first kiddo. And it was kind of an ultimatum.
Mm-hmm.
But when I got there, I was floored because I had to pay. I was like,
you had to pay to surrender?
I have to pay you guys? Yeah, it's $60 a dog.
Really?
Like, I'll never forget this. So she gave me a call and she was like, get home. And I was like, oh, fudge, here we go. Nah, bro, water broke while I was at the Humane Society.
Oh, man.
I did 98 down Dodge. But, I mean, it was a precursor for how things were going to go the rest of the time. But devil's in the details. So I've never, knock it off.
I'm sorry. I'm not going to say it.
Knock it off. I've never lost a dog through watching it. The only thing I can think of is my dad. So I don't want to see it.
No, it's hard. I mean, and
it's great. It's great.
They got lots of ways to make it as easy for you as possible. Like they'll do whatever you want to do, which is nice. But it's
and me being the nice guy dog lover I am, it's like, oh, adoption could be any week. But you have to have current vaccinations on your other dogs.
Yeah.
I was like, what's Biggie need a vaccination for? That's what I'm thinking in my head.
Yeah.
I didn't say one thing out loud.
Yeah.
I didn't even really respond. I just was like, oh, let's figure that out.
Yeah.
Vaccinate. I mean, where are we vaccinating him from? You know what I mean?
I mean, he does go outside still, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, other animals can give him rabies.
We don't mess around. That dude does what he needs to do and comes back in. Now, we do have 2 menaces next door.
Yeah. So, you got to watch. You never know.
He got scratched once, through the fence.
Yeah, so you got problems there. Vaccinations are important.
No, we're good. Hey, Shane, I thought of you this morning too. By the way, as I was getting ready, it was super quiet and we were ahead of schedule, so I was just kind of scrolling through the playlist. And
What'd you think of?
Huh?
What's the song?
It's the Little River Band.
Okay.
I don't even know why. It must have been on like shuffle or I don't know because it's not in my
I've seen them in concert.
Yeah, I thought of you. You're being a lonesome loser. I was like, oh.
You big Little River Band guy, Shane?
That's what I always do, and they never catch me. Nobody gonna catch me.
I was like, oh man, this dude's getting bit by the Queen of Hearts every time.
I hung out with them. They're cool.
Why
guys.
am I not surprised that like you have?
What, you hung out with them?
Yeah.
This ought to be good. I'm sorry. I know this is a sports show.
I don't care. Let's hear it. I'm all in.
Well, it was back in the day when I was at KGGO in Des Moines, and they were there for a concert, and then I had to like put banners up and stuff because I was doing promotions.
Yeah.
And so after the concert, I had to take the banners down, and they were back there.
Wait a minute. How high were they up?
Just around on the walls and stuff.
So were you like getting on a lap? I mean,
no.
Would you have said it's a long way there?
Oh. So they were all. So them and the other band, some of the members from both bands. I can't remember the other band at the moment, but they were back in their trailer, kind of out front of their trailer, and they were out there drinking beer. So I was just
probably with Austin.
Hung out with them for a little bit. They were pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had some beers with the Little River Band?
I didn't have some beers, but they were having beers.
So you were hanging out with them
when they were hanging around. You were there, like, oh my god, we got this song. It kind of reminds me of you. And then you're like, oh, what's that? And they're like, oh, Lonesome Loser.
No, I thought you were going to say lady.
No.
No.
Anyway.
But there you go. So I hung out with those guys.
My bad.
I literally just pulled up all their songs just so I could make jokes.
Interesting.
That is cool, though, Shane.
Huh.
You don't remember?
Why am I not surprised?
I mean, he's worked in radio stations a lot. That makes sense.
He said KGG. How many G's?
So they were probably like, look at that loser. Come over and hang out with us.
What kind of beer? What were they drinking? Like hams?
I don't remember. It was so long
PBR,
ago.
baby.
What would have been a good
probably like Pabst or something
trailer beer for the Little River Band back then? Had to be hams or Coors.
Banquet.
I don't even know what that is.
That's like the traditional course. It's like Schaefer's.
Oh yeah, like Schaefer's Fave.
Yeah, Schaefer's Fave.
Yeah. Probably had to be hams. So once upon a time, this was pre-you. There used to be a white can beer. Remember, Shane, and it just said beer?
Yeah, I've seen those.
Black bold
I've seen
letters?
those. Yeah, just beer.
Yeah. And it was cheap.
Yeah, it was
because
allegedly
you
terrible.
could get 40s for like 99 cents, and this 6-pack was like $2.
The other band was 38 Special.
They're the hold on.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was
big
members from both
big
bands.
dentist office guys. That's weird. You'd hear that on the elevator going up. I was at Physicians Mutual as a little kid going to see Dr. Fisher. Those are the kinds of songs I remember.
Just 38 Special?
Yeah.
They used to play. I have.
Shane, you're a weirdo, but I like, listen, I take responsibility for your memory lane because I was trying to be funny and you actually have a connection.
Hey, that's the secret.
I have like PTSD from hearing 38 Special commercials on stations in our previous life where they would just be like 38 Special. Don't wait. You've only got 8 more months to buy your tickets. And so that would be on like every commercial break for 8 months.
Yeah, hold on loosely.
Or what was the Shane, you have to remember this. The hairband cover band that they always played. There's like the 80s hair bands. They had a
Cheap Trick.
They're a real band.
Yeah, that's a real band.
Oh, the cover band.
There was a cover band that did all the like 80s hair band covers.
Dude, I seriously think my wrist is broken.
Yeah, what did you do,
don't
man?
know. I can't even turn. I can't drive one-handed.
Don't do that. You gotta be careful there, man. It looks that doesn't look right. Let me see the other one for comparison. Yeah, that doesn't look right. I
don't know.
You should go see a doctor.
It's hurting me.
I can tell.
Anyway.
Yesterday, you like put your hand down on the chair and you're like, ah!
David in the chat says they were called hairball.
Hairball. Yes. Yes.
And David, so you talking about DJ?
Yeah, because he worked at
he's
in the same affiliate. Yeah. He would know. He probably has PTSD from hairball too.
Hey, did you extend congratulations this morning before your monologue?
About what?
About Emmett Johnson being named the best running back.
I did not. I wanted to wait for you.
No, you didn't.
Congrats,
Golly,
Emmett.
Fibonacci.
Good sequence.
I don't even really know what it is. I just use it because I don't like the L word.
It's a mathematical sequence. I don't know what it means,
understand.
but I don't know what it means. But it's like 1, 1, 2, 3.
Do you know what's funny?
Something I don't know.
I was today years old. You know, I thought it was actually.
What?
I thought it was like a musician, a famous.
Oh, I thought you were like maybe a type of pasta. It's like, oh, that's the gnocchi with the Fibonacci noodles.
I like how you intimate my stupidity without just calling me stupid.
No, that wasn't like, hey, you're stupid. I was like, Fibonacci sort of sounds like an Italian dish. To me, too.
Okay. It's fine.
Like, if I didn't grow up in a family of nerds, I'd be like, Fibonacci. Oh, yeah, they have that at Olive Garden this month. It's on special. 38 special, if you will.
Your mom would pulling out of breath, Brian. Ravi.
Yeah, sure.
What's her pet name for you?
Sunshine.
Ravi.
OMG.
That's what my name means in Hindi.
Talk about an oxymoron.
I'm a ray of light to everyone who sees me.
That is incredible. That is sensational.
Just a bright spot in everybody's day.
Yeah, that's not true.
Oh. Most people's maybe.
Wow. You never felt pressure to live up to that?
You're like, not even a little bit. I got the name. People make assumptions on their own. It's fine.
Just go rain on everybody's parade.
Yeah. Hey, listen. How do you appreciate the sunshine more? Immediately after it rains. I'm here to help.
Didn't even bat an eye. Oh, anyway, I just wanted to say congratulations to Emmett. What the hell? That is.
Rico says you're the ray of light coming off a nuclear bomb.
Exactly. Exactly.
Asian Wyatt says Chow Yun Fat would eat that Italian dish.
So was Wyatt already in the chat when Shane went into his Mandarin bit? The only dude in Nebraska that likes his subtitles in Mandarin. Yeah, man, I like Mandarin.
By the way, the other two actors that I like, you said Bruce Lee and Chow.
Yeah,
I like Andy Lau and Donnie Yen.
Donnie Yen. What's Donnie Yen?
Donnie Yen was the blind guy in Rogue One Star Wars.
Oh, he's good.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
Those are good movies that he's in.
English, please.
English, mother. Do you speak it?
Sometimes.
Whose dialect was that?
Samuel L. Jackson. That's Pulp Fiction, baby.
Okay, Austin. I have only seen bits and pieces of Pulp Fiction.
Great movie.
Yeah, that did not register.
Oh, I mean, if you don't like Inglourious Basterds, you 100% won't like Pulp Fiction.
Inglourious Basterds is pretty
incredible movie. That is by far your worst take. That is your 10 and 2 of movie takes.
Somebody asked me last night at Holy Ghost, which, by the way, do you know what time I left?
I'm going to guess.
It's 9:44.
Oh, I was going to say 9:45. You didn't let me guess. That's late, though, man. What are you doing?
I'm like a 9 o'clock, 8:55, get out of there guy.
At least you still had like a good hour of that football game left to watch, though.
There were more people than I thought.
Really?
Yeah.
It sells out a lot. It's a pretty popular deal.
Yeah, but I've had smaller crowds.
Well,
when I was thinking, it's the end of the year, they're going to be pissed about Iowa.
Guess not.
Oh, no, they were pissed about Iowa. It just wasn't a smaller crowd.
They wanted to let you know in person. They're pissed about Iowa.
I have one guy, bless his heart. He was so mad that Penn State went for it. Or
on fourth down?
The fake punt and didn't take their starters out.
Well,
I was like, look, man.
Kind of is what it is.
I'm the last guy to be I've been beat 77-0. I don't bat an eye at that.
It was funny because I made a joke on Twitter because in the broadcast, I think it was, I can't remember who was on the call. I think it was a Gary Danielson because I think it was a CBS deal. And later, like minutes after this had happened, like after the fake punt, he goes, well, I know Terry Smith wouldn't do anything to embarrass his old friend Matt Rule. And I was like, he just went for it on 4th down, up 20. I wouldn't be so sure about that, bud.
Yeah, and I mean, Terry's trying to get a job. He's trying to get a job.
I don't even care. Like, I get it. And they've also blown fourth quarter leads, and like, I get it. I get why they went for it. It's just really ironic to be like, oh, he'd never try to embarrass him just moments after he had done that.
Penn State's a prime example of two things. Number one, you better be 99.999999% sure you can get a contract signed before you make a move. Not just a verbal, twice. And then like the I'm telling you, and it was because I was there. And it was just my opinion, so I wasn't like, ooh, lock, stock. But I asked you before I went there. We talked about this with James Franklin. Before he got let go, we went into the 3-day defending James Franklin monologue last year. We did in the offseason recruiting. I'm telling you, that's a tough place.
Yeah. And that's before you even get to
I'm on the so there's two things I was thinking on the plane. I was like, golly, man, like we just got beaten. A place that holds 100,000, they had like 55,000 in there, and it didn't matter. Number two, how do they get people here?
Yeah. Like the arduous journey to get there is not overstated. Like, and
it's not even like the degree of difficulty. It's what do you do when you're there?
Fair.
Seriously.
Because
it makes Lincoln look like a booming metropolis.
I mean, it's 20% the size of Lincoln. 20%.
You know, I did a speaking engagement in Benkelman, Nebraska.
I didn't even know that was a place.
Yeah, I only remember, well, two reasons. Number one, I took a propellered little 2-seater, and I sat in the back like freaking Tattoo. The plane. Look, grown up, kind of. Fetal position in the back of the plane.
Yeah, you're like in one of those like little Ford Ranger jump seats, basically.
Terrified. They're like, oh, hey, we'll fly you out there. It's, it's the Cattleman's deal and this, that, and the other. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. They had this collab with the phone company I was familiar with. Man, I saw that plane. I said,
can I drive?
I want to back out. I'm pretty sure I may have wept a smidge.
I would have. I'm you know me, I don't like flying though.
So I talked as long as I could at that speaking deal.
Yeah. Because you didn't want to get back on the plane?
I was just glad it was dark. Your boy laid down in dress clothes as a grown-up, so I did not have to see. Coming in from Benkelman. But anyway, it would be like dropping the campus there.
Just in terms of what it's around.
Yeah. They're in trouble.
I agree. Like this, we've tried to say this for a year now. This is a harder job than people think. And James Franklin was doing a better job than people think. And I swear if they fall ass backwards into Matt Campbell, I'm going to be furious. Because that's actually a good coach and would be a good hire because he's actually capable of A, recruiting to a place that it's hard to recruit to, and B, winning with guys that maybe aren't the level of recruit that other people have. Like, he's actually a great hire for them. And if they end up with him after all this nonsense, I'm going to be furious. I still don't think he's an upgrade over James Franklin.
That's crazy. Had you seen the reports before the text in the group chat about Matt Campbell?
No, I hadn't. So I went and played.
That was weird.
Yeah.
I was getting ready. I think I was getting ready to walk in. Whatever time that was, I was either just showering or getting ready to walk into
Holy
Holy
Ghost.
Ghost.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what are you talking about?
So the first I had heard about the Matt Campbell thing was I was walking out of tennis in the mid-afternoon, and one of the guys was like, Matt Campbell to Penn State? And I was like, I thought he was just talking.
Yeah.
And I was like, what are you talking about? He goes, that's what they're saying. So I get my phone out, start Googling and Twitter searching and whatever. And that's where you say, hey, they've narrowed in on Matt Campbell. Now, I have seen this before, right? We saw it with Kalani Sitake, most notably. So this obviously is not a done deal yet, but I'm going to be, I really like Matt Campbell. I'm going to be really mad if he ends up being their coach.
I don't understand why he would do that.
I don't either. Like, he's never getting fired at Iowa State.
It's not even that as much as, I don't know.
Is it easier? Are you more likely to find a way to win the Big 12 as Iowa State than you are to win the Big 10 at Penn State? Because I think that's the question you have to answer.
Yes.
I agree.
Yes.
And if you are, then why make that move? They've kept him I get he's not as well paid as some. They've kept him reasonably well paid. They've kept extending him. I think he's at around $5 million a year, which is like.
And I totally lack objectivity. I like Matt Campbell.
I do too.
Ton.
I do too. And you actually have met him.
I like Matt Campbell a lot.
He's a guy I like. When Nebraska was looking, I would have been more than happy with Matt Campbell.
Yeah. Then we get into,
that's a guy that I'm very, very fond of, and I think is really, really good at what he does.
Yeah, tough.
And I hope he does not take that job. And I think Derek's right. That's not a guy they wanted. And
he'll fill that too.
Yeah. Like, anybody who takes the job at this point is the 15th choice.
If he's anything like he talks when he recruits or how he recruits, or when we were there when he came to Westside, it just, I don't know, man. I don't know.
I really hope he doesn't take it. Because I want to be able to still root for him, and that's going to be hard to do at Penn State. And B, I don't want him to put himself in a position for a job that I think is really hard, where he will almost inevitably get fired. Because if they fire James Franklin for winning the amount that he won, I have a hard time imagining Matt Campbell winning more than that. Because what we're talking basically is Matt Campbell going to win a national championship at Penn State? And the answer is probably no. The answer for everyone to that question at most places is probably no, right? So if I'm Matt Campbell and I go, okay, if I never win a national championship at Iowa State, no one cares. Like, if I ever make a playoff there, they build me a statue.
I just, like, at some point, isn't it like what is a piece of mind worth?
Yeah, 100%.
So if I make $4 million more,
that's why I brought up the firing thing, because he's got peace of mind forever at Iowa State, most likely. But is the $4 million worth, extra $4 million, or whatever the number would be, worth, because they're going to have to overpay for him, right? At this point?
Yeah.
They're going to have to overpay for anybody besides Terry Smith to take this job.
That's why it's the reason I brought up what I did about Lane Kiffin. But, he had me fooled a little bit. Like, Lane's still Lane.
100%. He's a weirdo.
Lane is still, like, I thought the whole, like, getting back, I just thought he seemed at peace. And they're really good. They're in a good position. But maybe it was the recruiting thing.
I'll say Saban brought up, I think, the most legitimate football reason to make the move.
And, he's like, I don't even know what my contract reads. And I was like, there's no way if we're reporting 13 mil or whatever, like, you don't have some.
He may not know. I bet his agent knows.
And maybe he's missing like a decimal point, but he ain't missing a comma.
No. So it's fair.
So like why are you saying that?
I guarantee you he's got the first, how many digits is that? I guarantee he's got the first 5 numbers right. Whatever happens in the last 3 before the decimal, he probably doesn't care. But I bet you he's got the first 5 numbers right. No, like, I will say, I met him very, very briefly at the College World Series a few years ago when he was up here.
Was this when you developed the crush? Or
No, I
got
a picture with him because I already really liked him.
Okay.
So, but he is a strange dude. Like I mean,
you could tell.
I talked to him for like maybe 2 minutes,
Yeah.
maybe. But it comes off immediately that he is a super strange human being. So if anyone in the country told me they don't actually know the details of their contract, I would sort of believe him.
I like the body language and stuff like that, and like his mannerisms, his delivery, like at it's intriguing.
What about it?
So I used to take these, classes, and it was because I was a special ed major, so it's a mild to moderate behavior disorders. So, we take these classes on delivery and why people just behavioral tendencies. Leave it at that. And just kind of the choppy movements and the movements of the head and the cadence, and like I'm always trying to read into what that means.
Yeah.
Like, what is that saying about kind of your personality? Like,
do you mean what you're actually saying?
How will that land?
Yeah.
Is this as good as you can do?
Are you coming off as deceptive?
Or yeah, all those things.
Genuine, yeah.
Right? Which is why I love DBK.
Mm-hmm. Super genuine.
It's not. So whatever it is, she's comfortable with it.
Fair.
And it works for her.
Yeah.
So she's mastered the art of, because it's not.
So that's why I said
it's very different.
That's why I said genuine.
The word she uses, yeah.
Because it's not how you would teach it.
Yeah.
So if it's not genuine, it's a very weird choice.
I love listening to her as much as almost any paid speaker, because she's just the level of comfort she has.
Yeah.
And who she is, whether it's floral print or Nebraska gear, or like she's just, hey, this is it.
This is what you get.
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, Shane, do you have that clip that you played in the Open? If you just dropped in from Pluto,
not a planet,
and
I can replay it.
If you just dropped in from Uranus, jerk. I
prefer Saturn.
Big Jupiter guy myself. Drops of Jupiter? Train? No? If you just dropped in from another planet
and you listened to this clip and you knew that this was the #1 team in the country that has been an absolute machine, the volleyball analytics are off the chart. Hard pressed to go back and find a team that has been this dominant. And this is their head coach, and she says this.
It's an interesting team because I don't feel like we have to be humbled or anything. I feel like this team is very humble, especially for the amount of success we've had. So, I don't feel like they need to be pumped up. I just think our messaging is going to be pretty consistent to what it's been the whole year. Is, we're going to play a lot of great teams. We got to continue to trust what we've been doing. That's made us great. And, I don't know. I think it's going to be the same.
Not exactly run through a wall material.
No.
But it's just like a Superman crush. Because not everybody, and I go back to something Jay told me, and he was with Alan Murrow, and we were sitting in this meeting room, and this is back when they were Grubb and Ellis Pacific Realty, and we were talking about, them doing deals and retail space and development. Now, because I was at the Randall School of Real Estate, I was trying to get my real estate license. So we're having this conversation, and they're just talking about how to conduct yourselves in deals and listening to people. And, Jay would say, hey, if you ask 3 questions in a row, and, you can control the conversation and when to listen. And I would say, my dad would say, people would tell you 90% of what you need to know if you just So I was always captivated by it. And Alan said, he goes, if you can command a room orally as an orator, as a good speaker, he said you're in like the top 5% of your peers. Most people aren't comfortable speaking in public.
Yeah.
Or to the public. And it always resonated with me. So when I listen to people, that's one of the main reasons I like press conferences.
Yeah.
Because I like trying to figure out the impact. That's why I gravitated towards Fleck. I was like, I don't care what he's saying. What he's saying, people believe it. I know it rubs some people the wrong way.
Yeah.
And so immediately when I heard the contrasting styles and delivery with Coach Cook and DBK and some other coaches on campus, I'm like, I'm rocking with Coach Busboom. Just has her own.
Yeah.
It's her own style. It's unique to her. She's out of the box thinking, and I all in.
We've got Tim VERGHESE, Inside Nebraska, coming up next year on Hurrdat Sports Live.
You know, I think the players probably feel it more, to be honest, because they're the ones that they're seeing and reading and hearing more of the outside noise. I think as a coach, you're a little more focused on the task at hand, and there's a lot, especially into these tournament weekends where you're prepping for 3 teams in 3 days, so there's a lot that goes into that, and you're still doing the other parts of your job. So I certainly can empathize with the players that they're feeling a lot of pressure and expectations. And I think that's a staff's job to take as much of that off of them as we possibly can, whether it's through messaging, the way we coach, the way we're communicating. I mean, there weren't really too many lows. Just in general, there's there's things here and there. People get tired, a little banged up, but yeah, there really weren't too many lows. But that's what I mean. We were out of them quick.
I mean, a little bit, but it's mostly just kind of that outside noise that we try and not listen to. And even just like throughout the season, it felt like, oh, we have to stay undefeated. We have to keep this set streak. And it's at the end of the day, again, that's not our end goal. And now we are to the point where we're trying to get towards our end goal, but not putting any added pressure on that. We want to go out there and we want to play our best volleyball every day and every night. And whether that's in the regular season or in the postseason, we want to do the same thing and we want to go out and win. So, I mean, I think there definitely is a little bit, but a lot of it is the outside noise and just kind of trying to keep that out of our minds.
Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centris Federal Credit Union. That's DBM Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. We are joined now by Tim VERGHESE from Inside Nebraska. Tim, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, how's it going, guys? Y'all hear me okay?
Oh, yeah, we got you.
What's up, buddy?
Hey, not too much. How about y'all?
Oh, man, just Just a day, just an ordinary day, trying to get by. No, so I was terrified of this week, Tim. My schedule was kind of in my feels, being a baby. Then had some tragic news happen, so I was doubling down on being a baby. And I can't tell you how glad I am that it's Friday. Every day this week, I told myself just one more day. And it's just one more day. And I'm just attacking it one at a time. And I got here this morning and I was like, oh, shoot, let's go. It's Friday. I get to get into the nitty gritty and nuts and bolts about, I'm going to ask you about evals because you're good at that. And I like talking about that. But just so you know, man, I was looking forward to talking to you because it's a pretty poopy week, man. So it's good to chat. And Ravi likes you because I don't know why Ravi likes you.
No, I look forward to this every week. It's the thing I look forward to every week. So I'm excited to get into it. And for me, I mean, obviously not in a similar way, but yeah, like last week where I was like, man, I just can't wait to get through signing day.
It's heavy, right? It's just
the end of the season. It's just like, the season, like Friday, and then it's like, oh man, signing days in 5 days. Like, oh my God, like this was my easiest signing day. This was my lightest signing day ever, but it was still just, how it is. It's always signing day. There's always drama. There's always stuff going on. I was keeping up with stuff happening across the country, and it just ended up being just a day.
All right, before we get, did you want to say something smart? Because you have joke Tourette's.
No, it's fine. I got past it. We're good.
Oh, good for you.
I know. I overcame.
Nice. Baby steps, TV. So, listen, on the heels of, and I'll weave this into the recruiting class with Waterman, Ainsworth, and Puma, but on the heels of EJ's postseason awards and kind of the accolades and the decision he has to make, it's no coincidence that I put these two guys up here together. How hard or how easy do you even try to understand that these two guys are uniquely connected, except for we feel much better about this guy, EJ, than we do this guy? Do you understand how we separate the two, or do you no longer even try to defend separating the two?
Like, oh man, I mean, I don't know. Like, I really thought the O-line finished the year on a strong note. Like, I think there's a lot of encouraging things there. And like, again, if you're looking from I don't even know like the way to put it, but like what the culture he's built in that O-line room, specifically what he's been able to do along the interior in terms of developing and landing talent there. I'm pretty encouraged by. Obviously, something needs to, tackle development still needs to come, and they need to make some moves there this offseason. But I really felt good about where the O-line was by the end of the year. Like I thought, I thought Elijah Pritchett had a really strong end to the season. You get Justin Evans back. Like you have, there's the reasons to be encouraged by how the unit ended the year and what they're capable of. Like I understand people want to see, this line be this dominant unit. But again, you got to I think in general, when assessing this program, I said it earlier this week, but you got to walk before you run. And I think a lot of people forget that when they assess the growth this program has made under Matt Rule and where things are in year 3. And it's like, yeah, they didn't take the year 3 jump that most people hoped. And, even I kind of anticipated they'd make, but I think you assess, and I think this year is tougher to reflect on and assess compared to last year, because I thought last year you could segment the year by largely around Dylan, but I thought you could segment the year based on certain things. This year, there was weird outlier games across the schedule. They didn't end the year the way they wanted to. There's a lot that goes into assessing the year as a whole, but I think if you look at what they had and what they didn't have, I thought, especially by the end of the season, I thought offensive line was better than I think most people gave it credit for.
This is without. Let me just ask the questions in our chat. The question from my man, Cousin Ronald: who has he developed at offensive guard and center? If you were gonna try to poke holes at Coach Raiola, wouldn't the last place you'd start be guard, center guard?
Yeah.
Or am
Yeah,
I missing something with that?
yeah, like I mean, again, Justin Evans is a pretty quality starting center in the conference. You know what I mean? Like
What
again,
position
Henry
did he play last
Lutovsky,
year?
like Henry Lutovsky is a guy that before Raiola got you know what I mean? Like he's developed into a playable Big Ten player. You know what I mean? Behind the scenes, you have Preston Tamua and Houston Keanu Torres developing, and I know those guys aren't on the field yet, but there is reason to be encouraged by what those two can be down the line. And yeah, like I mean, but yeah, I get it. I mean, I understand. Like again, there's hesitation, but yeah, like guard is not where I'd poke holes. If you want to poke holes, yeah, you can talk about the tackle position. We can talk all day about what needs to change there and how that's a position that Nebraska needs to see more out of. But yeah, from guard center, like I don't know what people want more from those.
And the rave reviews. I was listening to the Cornhusker, the player talks that Jess has with the guys every week, and she had Spindler a couple of weeks ago, and kind of him intimating and talking about what's happened since he's gotten to Nebraska. He's now an all-conference player. He was on the verge of almost being run out of Notre Dame in terms of their future plans. Like, I think the player testimonies kind of have to speak for themselves, don't they?
Yeah, and I think that's part of it too. Like, I mean, you assess the room and you assess the health of the room. That's a very healthy room in terms of culture. That's a very healthy room in terms of, development and retention and bringing guys into the program. Like they are landing. Like again, I know Claude Plume is the big name, and you look at this 26 recruiting class and you're like, oh well, they didn't land Jackson Cantwell, and they didn't land this guy, and they didn't land this guy. It was like, well, they sought out guys they felt would really fit this program. And one, Claude Plume was a guy they have not landed in years past. That's a big athletic,
legit tackle.
Legit tackle, and that's a guy with the size and athleticism that every program wants at the position. And then you go further down the list. Hayden Ainsworth was a guy that they liked a lot in the 27 class, and he reclassified up to 26. And so Nebraska put pedal to the metal a little bit and really prioritized him as this versatile lineman that can play tackle or guard, and a guy that they feel they can stash and develop for a couple of years. And then you add in Rex Waterman on top of that, a guy that they were one of the first power forwards to offer, one of the first power forwards on him. And you look at the film, you look at what he's capable of. That's a high floor guard prospect. That's a guy that's muscled up.
He's a big body.
And he's going to come into Nebraska. He's going to hit the weight room hard. He's going to add some weight to his frame. It really wouldn't surprise me if Rex Waterman within his first 2 years in the program finds himself on the 2D.
So Tim, could I make the argument to you that the issue with the tackles has been more in recruitment than in development? Because I'll point to two guys that I think have developed really well under Donnie Raiola, and that's Bryce Benhart, who everyone hated, like universally hated. Like, I don't think that's an exaggeration. And he turned into a very quality Big Ten tackle. And Elijah Pritchett, who we saw from first half of the season to last half of the season, turned into what looked like almost a completely different player. Could I make the argument that they just haven't gotten true tackles into the program, and that's why the tackle position has been an issue?
I think so, and I think you could also make the argument that Bryce Benhart's and Turner Corcoran's initial recruiting ranking are held against Raiola because that's considered something he inherited. Blanket people can say, oh, he inherited 2 4-star tackles. We know what those guys would look like on the field when they got him. Like, we know what those two look like. We know what
we hated
the O-line. Yeah, we know what the O-line looked like when they were out there.
Their
and
head
what they
coach
like.
said that he didn't want to have to play them. They weren't ready to be playing. Like, their head coach said that.
Yeah. So, but that's held again. Like, it's almost like this. Like, again, like I feel like whenever I talk about like the development, again, it's you have to look at what they inherited and what they're getting out of what they inherited. He maximized Bryce Benhart, and I think the same can go for Turner Corcoran, who's had a very up and down career, but to finish out his career through injuries, through playing all over the line of scrimmage as like a swing guy that is able to at least hold his own at the tackle position late in his career. I did not expect that 3 years ago, So, again, you have to look at it in that sense. And that's why I think I've given Donovan Raiola a lot of grace compared to other people. And I would also say, like, on top of all of this, like all of this that is looming with Dylan and Day and all, like that is also not really related to Donovan Raiola either. Like there's a separation there. So I think everyone combines all of this together as like it's an all or nothing conversation. And it's like, well, no, it's not. You actually have to dive into this. There's nuances into the conversation in terms of assessing what Donovan Raiola has done. In terms of assessing, okay, well, if hypothetically Dylan Raiola were to move on for the program, does Nebraska just cut that? But that's not how that works either. You know, like you have to look at the program and you have to look at the players and you have to separate those two things. Like there's a lot more nuance to all of these conversations than I think the average fan, I think, puts into how they assess all of these situations.
So, Tim, as you kind of look at, obviously, we talked about a smaller class. We talked about some of the offensive linemen that were in that class. The headliner outside of Puma is Danny Odom, right? How did you process Coach Rule's comments on the conversation he had with Odom about John Butler leaving and Addison Williams being here, and hey, at the end of the day, you're playing for me and I'm not going anywhere? Like, how did that kind of land with you? Because it doesn't seem like we get that much transparency about those conversations very often.
Yeah, that was really interesting, and I think with Odom, I also thought there was a Nebraska was able to kind of do that just because Butler, obviously the DC, and you do risk with a recruit like Odom, any type of change late can shake up that recruitment, can open up just a slight window of opportunity for another program, but the relationship here was always Addison Williams, and to pair with Addison Williams was Matt Rule from the first visit. It was Addison Williams and then also Matt Rule that was leading the way for Odom and Devin Jackson's teammate. But yeah, with Odom, it was, I mean, credit to Addison Williams for, again, this is a relationship he built back at UCF, didn't have the opportunity to really go after him at UCF. But as soon as he got to Nebraska, this was the guy he prioritized, got on campus in February, got him back on campus for a spring practice, got him locked in for an official visit, fended off Ohio State and Oklahoma and Clemson for the first time around. And then Ohio State and Michigan, you know, were in that mix through the summer, through the fall, did not let up. Clemson joined in, you know, like it was I just put up our behind the scenes story, but they were sweating a little bit pretty much until Danny Odom sent Matt Rule the lock emoji on Wednesday morning saying he was locked in and signing. So pretty much until that moment, he said he shut his recruitment down a couple of weeks ago. You know, I mean, with the late coaching turnover, like that obviously meant something, but it didn't necessarily, you know, you're still sweating with a guy like that. So in terms of what Nebraska's getting there, like that's a guy that's coming to take jobs in the secondary. That's a guy that I love his senior tape. I love his instincts in coverage, his natural stickiness. I think he does a really good job of squeezing guys to the sideline, utilizing his length, and he's a strong individual for his size. And the biggest question with him going into his senior year was like, just how he'd be able to play up at the weight. Like he had done really well on the 7-on-7 circuit. He played really well as a junior, but he was closer to like 165, 170 then. Obviously not a playable weight at the power 4 level as an outside corner. He's up to 180, 185 now. He's going to be probably 190, 195. And man, he held it really, really well as a senior, was sticky in coverage. And so, yeah, I mean, your one question with him, I think long term is going to be just the top end play speed. He's a 4.6 guy. But you know, I mean, in 7-on-7 on the field, he's been like, you know, in phase on quicker, faster receivers. It hasn't really mattered. He does a good job utilizing his length, utilizing more short area acceleration and short area athleticism to stick in coverage. I'm a huge fan of his game. Huge fan of the playmaker he is. And again, like I just think it's going to be one of those things, like the guys that the media around here, it's going to be like day one spring ball or the first time they get access to practice. It's going to be like, whoa, look at Danny. Like Nebraska's a 6'2" corner out there and he looks really good. Like that. It just wait. Like you're going to see that first day of spring ball.
Yeah, I always try to glean information. I like listening to, you know, the player interviews when Jess is talking to him. She kind of has this way of like getting them to just different angles to get them to open up, right? And so I want to jump to Luke Sorensen because she's asking him kind of these lines of questions about his development and kind of where he came from. And, you know, he just casually dropped that he started out as a tackle, you know, where and there were a couple of these guys that started out playing different positions, you know, D tackle to wide receiver, which was a weird transition for a couple of guys in this class. But Sorensen, I was interested listening to him talk to her because he talked about how he was not a natural pass catcher early on. He was more of an inline guy. He started out as a tackle. Then I watch his film, and I'm thinking, wow, he's a good hands catcher. Can stick you at the top of routes. I don't know how much of a separation guy he's gonna be, but he makes contested catches. His frame's gonna trim down a little. He's kind of I don't know if he's a sleeper, Tim, but he looks like a guy that has potential to be better than kind of how we're talking about him. Or maybe it's just the prevailing thought because we're a little bummed about the size of the class. Are those two separate things for me?
I think so. I think Sorensen's like one of the guys I'm anticipating contributes as a freshman, and a guy that was a big legit recruiting win. You look at the other offers he had. Look at that recruitment when it took off. I mean, again, like I stress this when Nebraska landed his commitment. This is a guy that Penn State and James Franklin at the time, Penn State and James Franklin were pitching on being Tyler Warren, like coming to Penn State and playing the Tyler Warren role. They specifically circled him as the guy they wanted to play that role. And then they pivoted once they realized this was a recruitment they were losing footing in. It came down to Nebraska, Ole Miss, and USC, UCLA were involved. There were a couple other programs involved. Texas and A&M had both offered. Miami had offered. Programs that had done this at a high level at the tight end position wanted him badly. And you talk about his wanting to be a tackle. He's got big features, man. He's got huge feet, huge hands. I think that's part of the transition as a pass catcher. And I think why I'm a little encouraged from him long term. You talk about the separation stuff. Yeah, that might not be there necessarily for him, but I think his big hands, his natural body strength, I think allows him to be can allow him to be a really good contested catch guy across the middle.
Really good body control for a guy
Yeah.
that isn't always used to be, you know what I mean, being out in space. He's very good with his body control, which I actually think is a very underappreciated skill when we're assessing athleticism, is just watching body control, like balance seemingly when both feet aren't on the ground.
I look at that a lot.
Really good. Me too.
Yeah, it's something, but it's more anecdotal for me than it is I don't think it's something you can really measure. It's more of just hey, this guy looks really in control of his athleticism. And I look at that as a guy that I think for Sorensen, and it comes in different ways. For some guys, it's playing the position for a really long time and developing some of the little nuances. I thought Andrew Marsh, who's at Michigan now, I think that's him. Andrew Marsh is a guy that just played the position, knows the nuances, very in control of who he is and what he is. With Sorensen, he's got a judo background. He's got a multi-sport athletic background, like some baseball, and there's a bunch of different sports back there. I think all of that allows him to be. He's very well balanced. He's very in control. I think a lot of that stems from that judo background, at least in my opinion. In terms of you look at his play, he's a guy that's always finding himself on his feet, always balanced. Again, that you see some of that judo and how he blocks, how he he's fun, man. He's a lot of fun. There's a clip in his senior tape where he's blocking Marcus Fakatsu, the number 2 defensive lineman in the 27 cycle, who's 6'7", 295. And he just gets under him, moves him out of the way. And it's whoa, he's got 50 pounds on you. That should not be happening. But I think that's a guy that's going to be competing for playing time in 12, 13 personnel. He was pitched on by Dana Holgorsen on being a weapon in this offense. I really think this offense and the staff plans to feature him pretty early here in his career.
Last one for me on the recruiting class before we get to the defensive stuff. Nayland Scott, 6'2", 210. He's physical. I like his toughness. Again, a guy that seems naturally competitive. How about the little tidbits about how he grew up a D tackle? He's before, I think he told Jess, he's before I trimmed down, I was a little bit of a fat boy. Or, something. I was just wait, what? And the only real thing I could remember is I played with a guy in Clinton Childs who in 7th and 8th grade was playing O-line. And I was like, yeah, this guy's not probably an O-line. But when Nayland Scott said that, I was like, D tackle. But you can tell when you talk to him and you watch his film, we're back to this tough, competitive thing. It seems to be really, really intentional. especially with a guy like Scott.
Yeah, I mean, every one of these guys, they're tough, they're physical. I think you look at like every single member of this class, they have something in there. There's a competitive edge in there. You see it on tape, you see it something, there's a chip on their shoulder, there's something in there. With like Larry Miles is another one who that guy competes, everywhere
He
been.
gives me Santana Moss vibes. Like a lot of people, like I just remember him because we're almost the same age, and just watching him. He reminds me a lot like these little mean-spirited, twitchy 45-degree angle. He'll battle for balls. He's got really, I don't know about top end, but laterally playing at 45 is like explosive. He gives me Santana Moss vibes. And Santana Moss was mean-spirited. Like you talk about competitive for a little like it seems to be really, really intentional what they're looking for.
Yeah, no doubt. And both those guys, nailing, they're coming in head down, getting to work. Like you're going to see that from both of those guys. I think early on in their careers too is they're going to earn their spots on the depth chart. They're going to battle for playing time. They're going to push guys for starting spots. The thing with Nayland, I'm really curious. He missed some time as a senior due to injuries. So I'm curious where he's at. In terms of his recovery, if he's 100%. And for him, I think there's still some untapped developmental upside there. I think in terms of he can continue to improve his athleticism while I think doubling down on some of the stuff he does really well as an outside receiver. But you love what he can do in contested catch situations. You love his route running ability. A guy that, again, another high floor member. Like, again, I look at this class and I mean, I've pushed for it behind the scenes, but like I don't think a lot of these guys are, one, fairly ranked, but two, like I think when you look at rankings, you look at a lot of times on you see guys outside, like way low on the 3-star rankings. You're like, oh, like, and then you look at the offers and you're like, oh. But then you look at the player, you look at the tape, and you're like, oh, well, this is a guy that is a pretty high floor prospect with some developmental upside. Like Nebraska was actually picky. Like, again, you can blanket and say, again, I've seen it from people out there that don't follow this thing. I get it. Like, it's tough to follow recruiting this day and age, but they were like, oh, Nebraska, like, just kind of punted to the end and just kind of like, we're really lazy in how they ended the cycle. That's not what happened here. They knew they had a limited amount of spots, and the guys they took, they were very intentional with how they used each spot. Every single one of these guys are guys they feel they can contribute at some point in this program within the next 2 to 3 years, if not sooner.
Tim, how much of this, I mean, we don't have to stay on this for very long, but the max number for this class was always less than 15, right?
Yeah, but I think it's a little. I mean, I was a little surprised to see where it was at 10, and to not land a D lineman, to not add an edge rusher, like that is unfortunate. And I think something that I was a little disappointed in and pretty surprised by, just the fact that we got to this point and they had none of that in the class. But at the same time, like, I think there was a very conscious at some point mid-season, if it wasn't the first bye week, it's the second bye week, of assessing where this team is at, what they need to take a step forward in 26, looking at what's out there in the high school ranks, looking what's needed to be done in the high school ranks, and essentially making a decision to say, hey, we're going to turn around and use the portal. Because one, you're more likely to find instant impact out of the portal. Two, if you're smart with how you use the portal, if you're smart in how you evaluate, which again, it sounds like they have a better plan this year with Pat Stewart and his scouts and all of that. Like, if you have an idea of what you're doing and you attack this thing with a plan, you can really improve your team if you're smart in your evaluations and you're smart in who you seek out. I think Nebraska is being very proactive about that process. I think they're going to attack Jan 2nd through the 12th with a sense of urgency, the portal with a sense of urgency. And that was part of the calculus here of like, okay, well, let's save one, NIL and resources on that front, and two, roster spots to find guys that can improve this roster from day one. Like, yeah, like Danny Odom, Luke Sorensen, maybe Rex Waterman, maybe a Jamal Roon, maybe a Nayland Scholar. Like one of those, like some of those guys may contribute as freshmen. More often than not, though, like I can say a lot of these guys are high floor. I think less than half of them end up contributing in a meaningful role as true freshmen. So that's where I think when you look at Nebraska and what they're doing in the portal, they need guys that can contribute now. Like, they need guys that can add to this roster, like, from the moment they step on campus. Those guys are coming out of the portal, not really coming out of the high school ranks.
Let me ask you something, Tim. It's kind of a 2-in-1 since we've had you for almost 28 minutes now. But who's counting? Defensively with schematics, it does seem like, Addison was kind of the made man, the untouchable one. And I definitely understand that level of surprise, whether it's the recruiting prowess of Simpson, the longtime tenured stuff with Dvorak, who, Carolina wasn't really excited to let go. He was the one guy that kind of stayed through the end on that staff.
Mm-hmm.
Braden, obviously relatively new, but under a little scrutiny. I get it. Anybody else? Would anything surprise you? Excuse me, other than Addison Williams not being on staff, than if anybody wasn't retained?
I'm not sure. I mean, like, I wonder a little bit. I think Philip Simpson's going to stick on staff. I think he's a good resource for them in Florida, but he tried it a few guys, been able to pull him out of the state of Florida. I wonder just a little bit if he at all looks around at potentially getting back closer to home. With the Voracek again,
he's got to get, for as much as we're upset about like Ochoa, he's got to get some credit for Dylan Rogers and Don McCullough, right?
Yes, I think so. And again, on the recruiting side of things, like he swung high. Like it's there's no shame to, losing out to Miami for a hometown Miami kid, and that's what happened with Jordan Campbell. A guy that they really really wanted, but were just unable to pull away from Miami as that recruitment got deeper and deeper. He was a longtime Miami commit, just refused to flip. With Cameron Wilson, there was another one where Syracuse chose to treat Wilson, and again, I understand it. When you're Syracuse, when you have a handful of guys each cycle that you can go out and say, hey, we need this guy. You're an instant, like you're that guy. Like they treated him like a priority target to the point where Nebraska, needs more instant impact there. They just kind of pivoted, felt like, their money was better spent elsewhere. So I can't really blame him for that. But yeah, like I think you want to see a step forward from his room. I think you want to see him kind of earn his keep a little bit as a recruiter moving forward in terms of results. I think that'll happen in 27, 28, though. I'm not really worried about that.
He seems like I like him, number one. So that's I lack a little objectivity, but I just wonder, like from a coaching standpoint, how many of those guys? Because now I'm just looking at the roster, right, for movement, and I'm like, okay, could we use this guy? Could we get something else out of this guy? And I'm thinking if they get in. Maybe if they're like a base under front or like a base 4 front, like does that open the door for more guys in that room, right? Like a McGahee or a Noonan or, Rogers coming back, like playing in a true 4 down with kind of that more ends, I guess, than kind of off ball play on the line of scrimmage guys. I mean, because I felt like we missed those MJ Sherman types, and we didn't talk enough about it.
Yeah, no doubt. No, I mean, I again, I had this discussion earlier this week too. Of like, I really felt. I think in retrospect, if you were to take a time machine and go back to the beginning of last offseason when Nebraska was in the DC coaching surge, and they looked at the personnel and what they had, I think they may have wanted to just fully turn it to like a 4 down front. Like I think just based on the personnel they had, based on what they would do, like I think they would have made that decision with the opportunity of foresight, with hindsight with them. Like they probably would have done that. But again, hindsight's 2020. You do what you can do. You have to pivot now. Like that's what I would say. I think in my opinion on the defensive staff is I do think Rhule's comments on whoever's next. And that having that flexibility to bring their own people, I think that part of that was intentional too. And I'm curious who that affects on the defensive staff. Like I think for Terry Braden, like again, I understand like some of the flack he's taken, but at the same time, like I generally believe in the development that he's doing behind the scenes, and I believe that he's more of a longer burn in terms of everything, in terms of like the evaluating his development. It should be more on longer term basis. Evaluating who he is as a recruiter should be more of evaluating that over multiple years. He's a relationship builder. He's not a guy that's going to come in and like throw money around and be like, hey, just come play for me. I have all these, like, he's a relationship builder. He wants to get these guys and start to build out a board of guys that he feels fit his personality, fit the room, all of that. And I think you're going to see that in 27. I just don't think he had the time to really do that in 26, and really the opportunity to do that in the 26 cycle. So I think the staff is going to be patient with Braden, at least personally. Like, that's my current feel on it. But I also wouldn't be surprised if, with the sense of urgency, with where this program needs to be, whoever the new defensive coordinator is feels he needs to bring his own, or just trust himself on the D line. And I like, 'cause that's one I could see hypothetically potentially moving on. With Dvorak, I think Dvorak's a really good coach. I think he's a guy that's a rising star. Even though the linebacker play wasn't what maybe people wanted,
I agree.
I think the world of Rob Dvorak. I think he's a guy. I think he's a future defensive coordinator and a future head coach down the line.
I just like he's a really good teacher. But let me ask you the last one from me. I got this question yesterday. This was from a Chiefs fan. So he's familiar with kind of Braden's style, and he was pitting it with Coach Butler and this NFL philosophy. He asked me, he basically said, hey, I know you were kind of down on the physicality and kind of the punching and the knockbacks up front. Do you think guys would have been better if they focused on just kind of more one technique, right? Like if you're a one, playing the one, if you're a three, playing the three, if you're a natural five or an end, play that, versus the versatility of moving guys all around the fronts. It's a little tougher when you're young, right? Yep. Filling a double team from a 2-eye is different than how you have to play in a 4, right? But you'd see a lot of guys crossover. Do you think there would have been some benefit to narrowing the scope in terms of how the development looked? Because you can always go back and get that without having to blow up your personnel.
Right. No, I think so. I mean, I thought there were some weird decisions along the deal, and I don't know if that necessarily goes on Braden. I think part of it goes on necessity in terms of trying to. You needed size. They were just trying to fit the run however way they could. I felt like there was some desperation there. Like I thought they moved the Elijah Judy out to D end. I felt at times, and I thought he looked better there than he did at tackle. But then it felt like towards the back end of the season, they started to pack pounds back on him to play tackle. And I didn't love that. And I didn't love how he looked there. Keona Davis, I felt like they moved him around a little bit where, I think if he had just been able to focus on one position, I think you started to see it at times at the end of the year, really settle into a role and own that role. Yeah, I think that's what I would like to see, I think, from this next coordinator.
Imagine Wanari is like a natural 4-3 under front end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just getting to focus on the same thing every single snap. Just that. I agree. If all of that, I think, again, it's not about simplifying it because I think these guys needed to be dumbed down for them. It's not about that at all, but you could play quicker when you know what you need to do, snap in and snap out. And when you're you guys mentioned, when you're playing a bunch of different roles along the front, and there's this, by the end of the season too, this outside noise of this team can't stop the run. They need to be able to stop the run. There's this added pressure of that. You're trying to get off blocks. You're trying to make up for, at the second level, maybe not being big enough or athletic enough. And I thought there was some times where, Deshaun Singleton covered up for some stuff up front. When everyone is trying to play superhero and everyone's trying to cover up mistakes and other things, it all falls apart. And you got what you ended up getting against Penn State and Iowa, where at a point in that game, you're like, well, this team just doesn't have it against the run. They just can't stop the run. It just completely fell apart by the end of the year, just because I felt like everyone was trying to do a little too much. The pressure was bearing down on everyone. And again, if you take a step back, you give everyone a role to just lock in on. I still think there are very good players in the team. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago. I think if it doesn't take a super flashy addition to this D line room to make everyone else pop. You just need someone yeah.
You need a bell cow workhorse. It was my biggest fear when Ty left. I said this 10,000 times in the offseason. I said the key will be, can they match Ty's work ethic? It wasn't necessarily, and I get the overall production, but you need a bell cow workhorse that leads the way, that kind of sets the tone for how everybody else has to do it. And I think they have some guys potentially that could be like that, like a Pet Shock, or guys that will lay it on the line all the time. I just don't know if they were old enough yet to know what real day-to-day rigor looks like without it being kind of pulled out of them. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. I mean, again, like it's comparing a guy who in year 6 to guys in the second and third year in the program. Like it's a sizable difference in the development one guy's gotten compared to the other. Like again, like I think Cade, Riley Van Poppel, Keona Davis, Williams and Bernard, like what they'll be in year 4, for some of them potentially year 5, like what those guys will be as seniors, is I think worth working through all of this out for. Like I think all of this, it's worth working through the kinks for because of what those guys can do down the line. And again, I think those guys can take bigger steps forward than I expect with, just a guy with a high motor. I think that like if you're looking at for traits outside of size and production on the D line, motor should be way up there for Nebraska.
Yeah, but significantly more important than actual girth.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm married to it.
No, you're not wrong. Like I mean, like genuine, like a six.
You stop the run with effort and toughness.
Yeah, like a 6'1", 6'2", 320, 310 to 320 pounder that like gets off blocks quick and all that. That's good enough. That can be good enough. You don't need to get like 6'6", 320, 330. You know what I mean? Like you just need a guy that can take up space, 1, and 2 is going to get off blocks and is going to do it again. 3 snaps in a row. Can do that 3 snaps in a row. Can do it all game long the way Ty did.
Yeah.
That is our guy, Tim VERGHESE. Great stuff as always. Appreciate the little extra time today, Tim. And
well, we didn't get you till 8:04, so it's really only 37 minutes.
Yeah, we're only a little over.
Sorry.
Tim, appreciate the time as always. We'll talk to you next week.
Appreciate you guys.
TV.
That is Tim VERGHESE.
I'm a little biased just because I've seen it done multiple ways. So
sure.
I'm always going to bristle up at
you have to do
the
it
mythical
like this,
numbers. You have to do it. I'm not. I watched really mean-spirited, undersized guys function at a high level. I'm telling you, Jason Peter never played at a pound over 290. And this isn't about the glory days. It's about his temperament.
Yeah.
Guy's a miserable soul.
Mean-spirited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just aggression, just toughness. Kevin Raymakers was undersized, but he was mean. Like,
how big? I think I know the answer to this. How big was Jason Peter when he got here?
I couldn't have been, but 240 maybe.
Yeah. I thought 235, 245, somewhere in there.
I mean, so, and I don't even have to go to like the great.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, you can stop the run a multitude of ways, but number one, it better be a temperament. But the question was really good yesterday because I'm like, I go back to, you told me I was nerding out or whatever.
It's all right.
I was thinking like karate chop to the esophagus.
Blocked it.
Where I just was like, ooh, I wonder if anybody's ever put dirt in his throat as a kid or sand where you have to like feel like you swallowed sand.
Blocked it.
But when he's like, hey, there were times where I just was like, when I went back to the bench, could I just play this in a 1 versus, being in a 2-eye or feeling the double team in a 4 tech.
Yeah.
Where they're vastly different. We just look at it to the naked eye and we think, oh, guys are just multiple. But that is the downside, right? And I gave the analogy yesterday where Coach Samanji sometimes would say, hey, my guys don't like this. So try not to call that.
Yeah.
Right? Like, hey, we don't like force. Or we don't like boot. Or we don't like, or we do like, or we like whatever. So guys do have.
Yeah, there's a comfort level
of a style that they like to play. I just wonder if they did the basics long enough to be able to move up and down the front. And maybe that lent itself to the lack of violence because we're tentative.
Yeah, uncertainty. Uncertainty leads.
So that got the whole wheel spinning from the Q&A yesterday.
Yeah, I think so. Let's take a quick break here. We'll get to Adam McCLINTOCK at the top of the 9 o'clock hour, and then we'll talk to Coach Stroh from Iowa Western at 9:30 as well.
How about Tyler gets off the bus and they catch a break? They get a heat wave today.
I think it's still going to be pretty cold tonight.
They should have played yesterday. Guys would have got back on the bus.
Or Saturday when it's snowing.
What's the temp
tonight?
Are we
getting snow again?
Yeah.
I'm thinking about going.
Tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be all the way up to 34.
that's a heat wave.
Compared to yesterday, it sure is. Yesterday was rough.
Thought I was going to have to go back to next gen.
A little cold out.
Just kidding.
We'll be right back. More Hurrdat Sports Live.
I was just talking with the team, just how proud I am of the fight down the stretch. It wasn't that long ago here in this building. We were playing Marquette down 2-1 and fought to come back to win that. Had some similar feelings in there, some similar big swings from the person on my left. But I can't give enough credit to Northern Colorado. The first set, we punched them pretty good with service pressure. Our block was really good in that set. And then they made some really big changes in that second set and beyond to just serve the ball as hard as they could. And, man, their defense was special good. They were so scrappy. So many swings that we took within rallies that would have scored 99 times out of 100, I think, and they just found a way to get them up, or if we blocked the ball, they covered it. Like they were relentless defensively, and so that put a lot of pressure on us. And so, 2 23-25 sets. What I talked to them about was the comeback in that third set. I thought was the difference in the match.
Imagine your first dream home and the feeling of walking inside for the first time. With Centrist Federal Credit Union's First Time Home Buyers program, you are at the doorstep of bringing your vision to life. Welcome home. From your neighborhood mortgage experts, Centrist Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
I'm more concerned about how we're playing on the other side of the ball, and so I didn't even know that was a program record or anything. I think that's been taking care of itself. We've been sharing the basketball well, which I'm thrilled with, and then having so many efficient performances. Like when you look at Amaya Hargrove being 5 for 8, Britt 7 for 9, Petra 6 for 8. Just a lot of really efficient performances, and I think when you do that and see that, you're probably going to see some points put up on the board. And I like the pace that we're playing with right now, and that starts with Britt, but it's everybody doing their part.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DBM Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill, reminding you, make sure you go check out our friends over at Centris Federal Credit Union. It's the time of year we talk about spending money, but they're always trying to help you save money as well, whether it's their Roundup program, whether it's their certificates and savings account bundle. They can help you save money even in this time of year where it seems like the money's going out the door faster than it's coming in. Try and get a hearty financial start on the new year. Start now, start early, start with Centris Federal Credit Union. Terms and conditions apply, federally insured by NCUA. So, DB, I don't necessarily want to sidetrack this whole thing. We're going to talk to Adam McCLINTOCK here in a second. But we're talking about recruiting with Tim VERGHESE, right? And
the great Adam McCLINTOCK.
Adam McCLINTOCK, the GOAT. We love Adam.
I do.
No, he's terrific.
Should I just pick his brain about recruiting or coordinators and coaching rankings?
Yeah, I love it. His numbers are phenomenal.
I know. It's like a sickness.
I know. Every time I feel bad.
Say I'm nerding out. Like, you have a lot of nerve.
I nerd out all the time. It wasn't a judgment.
And guess what?
Yeah.
I'm not the one that has. Aren't you a PFF subscribe guy?
100%, yeah.
Yeah, see, even I don't do that.
Oh, me saying you're nerding out was not a derogatory. You took it that way.
Oh,
I nerd out all the time. Like you'll say something. I was telling one of our bosses, Gorman, about this the other day. You'll say something.
How is Chris?
He's doing good.
Chris is funny.
So you'll say something offhandedly almost, and then I'll spend 4 hours that day deep diving into it so I can talk about it for 90 seconds the next morning. And I'm like, time well spent. What a good decision you made there, Ravi. When I say nerding out, like, it is in no way derogatory.
Oh, man, I miss Gorman.
Like, that's just the thing that like when you deep dive into something that is sort of a niche, whatever topic.
Yeah.
Like, I consider that nerding out.
That's fine.
Yeah. It's all good.
Yeah. The whole Van Poppel thing. And then the questions I got in Nebraska City, I was like, oh my gosh, is there something to that?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. I don't know. I do want to see it, though.
I do think there is and I talked about this with speed more than violence, but I think it's hand in hand, is hesitancy makes you slow.
Yeah. Like if you want to play pullers or, play scoop blocks or whatever, like you have to do it all the time at a high rate of speed. And it's more than just drill work, right? But again, it's a difference seeing a double as a true nose versus being on a 2 or now. And I like versatility. I'm not saying, but you typically need to be more experienced. Also, you want to master something first.
Yeah, I agree.
Right?
I agree.
Like it felt a little bit like, and we talked, Coach Rule talked a lot about it. Coach Butler talked a lot about it. It's like, well, we want to be multiple. We want to have lots of options. We want guys to be able to do this, 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 and this. And I was like, can we get them to do just one thing first that they feel really, really comfortable with?
Yeah.
That they feel like they can execute at a high level all the time.
I'm just being lazy.
Mhm.
Maybe I'll ask. Nah, I don't want to ask Keith for a favor. Although I haven't asked Mann for a favor. Keith Mann.
Oh, it's been a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to go back to find the press conference
Mhm.
where Coach Rule was addressing like defensive philosophy and playing quarters, and he kind of offhandedly was like,
Do we really want to do this?
Right.
Yeah. Because it's hard. And it's probably
It's not even so much that it's hard. It's that you better be pot committed.
it's hard to identify quick enough and to be able to get where you need to go.
Like everything has its deal,
Mhm.
and it has its pros and cons to how you want to play it. So I just think philosophically,
Yeah.
it was disjointed. But part of it was, a lot of the players really like JB. I like
Sure.
JB. And he liked a lot of what they were doing already.
Mhm.
It's just there was a disconnect in getting the best out of them to play hard.
Yeah. And again, uncertainty makes it look like
you're not playing hard because you don't feel
or slow or whatever.
Yes, slow.
God, Kentucky's schedule is nasty.
That's what they do, man. Just go out and play ridiculous. Like
I'm sorry, that was a random, but
yeah, we saw a commercial for Gonzaga, Kentucky.
Who isn't Kentucky going to play in the non-con?
I'll look up what their schedule is.
By the way,
I'm a Ken Palm guy too, so I'm nerding out on that too.
That's okay. I rock with Ken.
Dude, Ken Palm's great.
So last night I didn't eat, but I got it to go.
Mm-hmm.
It was called the Triple Threat, and I didn't get there till 7. I didn't realize the doors open so early, but I think they open at 5 maybe, or something at Holy Ghost.
Yeah.
But I told you from the last time I learned that they actually put the menu up. And there's a place that I can actually see what they have back there. And there was this thing called the Triple Threat.
Ooh.
And I knew it was going to be a hard night.
3 different types of meat.
Yep. So it was a burger, cheddar cheese, smoked sausage, and bacon.
Ooh, okay.
And
I smell like beef.
After eating that, you gotta. Probably smells pretty good.
That was a pretty good one, Shane.
Yeah. But I didn't eat it yet. And I set it on the stovetop.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to eat it at some point, and I don't want to hear your mouth.
Can't make that promise.
I think it should be fine, as most people would eat it. You're not putting that in the refrigerator.
Yes, you are. Normal people put things in the refrigerator.
Disagree.
So we're going to be you left it out on the counter last night, right?
I got home at probably 10.
Okay, so when are you going to eat that? Tonight, maybe?
No.
Tomorrow?
I don't know. I forgot to ask Micah what we're having. Like I set the stuff. I set the meat out, and no, it's typically frozen first.
No,
I
that
don't
makes
set
sense.
it out on the
I
counter.
understand that.
I was like, I could spatchcock a whole chicken. We could do some version of a homemade pizza.
That's where you like split it in half, right? And like lay it a little flat.
And,
Yeah.
Although
Are you surprised I knew that?
Yes. Well, you heard
Natasha talk about it. Yeah.
That's not what I was going to say.
It's
a compound word. You heard the second part of the word, and you're like, oh, I know that word.
What does spatch mean?
Do you warm these items up after or before you eat them?
I'll warm it up.
Oh, you'll be fine.
Knife and fork.
You'll be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They put my name on a little styrofoam thing. What's wrong with you? You're not eating that?
Not if it's gonna be.
Do you have a problem with once melted cheese and then eating it again at a later time?
Not really, but I'll put it in the fridge and I'll warm it up. But I don't have a problem with it's not as good, but I'll eat it.
So
that's not the issue here. I'm not leaving meat out on the counter for 2 days.
Since I haven't seen my guy this week,
yeah,
I need to schedule my appointment for next week with Kyle. You're gonna be my black couch guy.
Okay.
What
can I do for you?
Dug through the trash at the facility in Lincoln because the show is really timed. Like Jessica's got the producer in her ear, and we're timing the videos, and so I had a little bit of a break. So I was like, hey, I'm gonna go out and get a breakfast burrito because they had this elaborate setup. All the coaches were in there. It's a cool little spot. And the guy is got this cart and all these tins, and I go, oh man. I said, what happened to the burritos? He's like, I threw them away. And I go,
you went after him?
I go, what? He goes, oh, they're in the trash. I go, oh, I'm not above going in the trash. I said, are they still wrapped? They were perfectly in the foil tins. So I grabbed 2. I put them in my backpack, not inside, the outside. I put them in this nice little pocket right here. Okay?
Yeah.
I forgot they were in there. Stop it. But I left them in my car. So yesterday morning, before I went to work, came here, I put them in the fridge. Technically, they were being refrigerated, right? Okay, you're being a jerk. Technically, they're refrigerated, right?
Not really, but sure. Okay.
So Micah got his haircut yesterday. He wanted to eat something real quick. I said, hey, there's breakfast burritos, and they're already wrapped. I haven't touched them. They're from Lincoln.
Can't believe you do that to your children.
I told you he's my dude, right? My human. He doesn't like when I say garbage disposal because he actually has abs, and he says you make it sound like I'm fat, like I eat everything. I was like, relax.
He's like 16, like all 16-year-old athletes
So-
eat everything. It's fine, Micah. You're fine.
He ate him. He ate it, and I said, "How was that?" He goes, "Man, that was actually amazing." And I was like, "Whew." "How you like them apples?" And it had a big fat thing of egg in there too.
You got problems, man.
I'm gonna eat that triple threat at some point.
That's better than the triple threat 2 days from now.
I forgot it was in there
'Cause
too.
at least-
I mean, they're fatty.
Because at least it was cold-ish in your
I
car.
thought you would dock me for digging in the trash.
No, if it's wrapped.
He looked at me sideways.
If it's fully wrapped, like I'm taking that over 3-day-old
I
counter meat.
walked back in with these burritos, and Jess is like, "What are you doing?" It's like, "Don't mind me." I'm gonna eat the other one today, maybe.
We're gonna talk. You're gonna have an issue like you did the other morning.
Oh, that was. I don't know what that was. That was like a mystery bug.
What about the ham?
Yeah, I finally threw that away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Might have been
yeah,
the ham.
Might have been.
We're going to talk to Adam McCLINTOCK coming up next. That's Hurrdat Sports Live.
Yeah, I was just talking with the team, just how proud I am of the fight down the stretch. It wasn't that long ago here in this building. We were playing Marquette down 2-1 and fought to come back to win that. Had some similar feelings in there, some similar big swings from the person on my left. But I can't give enough credit to Northern Colorado. I mean, the first set, we punched them pretty good with service pressure. Our block was really good in that set. And then they made some really big changes in that second set and beyond to just serve the ball as hard as they could. And, man, their defense was special good. They were so scrappy. So many swings that we took within rallies that would have scored 99 times out of 100, I think, and they just found a way to get them up, or if we blocked the ball, they covered it. Like they were relentless defensively, and so that put a lot of pressure on us. And so, I mean, 23-25 sets. What I talked to them about was the comeback in that third set. I thought was the difference in the match.
Imagine your first dream home and the feeling of walking inside for the first time. With Centrist Federal Credit Union's First Time Home Buyers program, you are at the doorstep of bringing your vision to life. Welcome home. From your neighborhood mortgage experts, Centrist Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
I'm more concerned about how we're playing on the other side of the ball, and so I didn't even know that was a program record or anything. I think that's been taking care of itself. We've been sharing the basketball well, which I'm thrilled with, and then having so many efficient performances. Like when you look at Amaya Hargrove being 5 for 8, Britt 7 for 9, Petra 6 for 8. I mean, just a lot of really efficient performances, and I think when you do that and see that, you're probably going to see some points put up on the board. And I like the pace that we're playing with right now, and that starts with Britt, but it's everybody doing their part.
Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centrist Federal Credit Union. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. We are joined now by Adam McCLINTOCK from Matrix Analytical. Adam, how are we doing this morning?
Pretty good. How are you guys doing today?
Hey, Mac, we are hanging in there. I have yet to make fun of Ravi, but I better get your opinion before I go all in on him. Are you in? Well, first of all, Hostess or Lil Debbie's as a brand?
Oh, man. So
you can only get what comes with each brand.
So which brand now? Okay, I'm one of those guys where I don't really look at the label. I just stick it in my mouth, right? So what is the oatmeal cream pie? Is that Hostess?
That's Little Debbie.
That's Little Debbie.
Okay, little Debbie all the way then.
Okay,
we're all on the same page.
I'm a Hostess guy, but it's fine.
You like oatmeal cream pies like more than any of them.
But I get the fruit pies. I get there's more versatility. But anyway, hey Mac, let me ask you this: Do you know a lot of adults in like your sphere of influence that you just see eating like multiple Christmas tree Little Debbies every day, or like do you think at some point your friends grow out of that?
Well, it's funny you say that. My wife hoards those things every year, like they're like going out of style. So I can't really say one way or the other because I'm gonna be home at some point today. I don't really want to face that wrath.
So are you amazed at all the things that they do with those now? They smash them, they bake them. There's like Little Debbie snack cake pies. Like these things, they're everywhere.
They're all over that, and like Reese's pumping out every shape of like peanut butter chocolate concoction you can think of. You know, we got pumpkins and Christmas trees, and I don't what is it, Easter bunnies for Easter? I mean, come on, what are we doing?
Oh shoot! Speaking of what are we doing?
First of all, I just real quick,
you're not going to stand for the slander.
Like the different Reese's shapes actually do taste different.
Do they?
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
That's another thing. So I've been told my wife is also a connoisseur of Reese's shapes, right?
Yeah.
She says the Christmas tree chocolate to peanut butter ratio is the best.
So I think it's second. I'm a big Easter egg guy.
Okay.
The Easter egg shape I think is elite. Christmas tree is second. If I'm going with a Christmas tree type cake or type treat, I'm going with the zebra cake basically shaped Christmas trees, which I got one right here.
Yeah, that's a little.
Yeah.
Well, he has two.
I do have two.
Adam,
yeah.
we're doing too much. not that I'm Little Debbie shaming him or anything.
You're jealous because you don't eat them.
So let me. You said what are we even doing? I have questions because I think, if the folks at State College took some truth serum, I know that they think they had at least two guys on two different occasions. It hasn't played out that way for whatever the reason, and I'll take your opinions on why. Do you think is it more about what the job really is and entails after you peel back the onion, or is it more about if you could get rid of James Franklin, I don't want it?
Yeah, I think it's the latter there. I mean, they're kind of setting the bar for what they expect for the next coach coming in by firing James Franklin. And that's a tough. I mean, it is a big brand. It is it is one of those names in college football that make you sit up in your seat when you see them on the TV schedule, right? But at the same time, James Franklin was already doing really, really good there. I mean, Virginia Tech is arguably, almost won this coaching carousel by being able to pick him up, from Penn State. So, and I honestly, at this point, who is Penn State going to go out there and hire that's better than James Franklin?
Well, didn't you think that, unless it was one of their okay, I get it. Did you believe the Urban Meyer interview and the whole NIL mishap with the questions, or do you think that was a thing?
It very well could have been. I personally think that Penn State thought that they could pull Mike Elko out of College Station.
Yeah. No.
I think
I agree with you 1,000%. 1,000%.
I think that was their guy, and I think once, because remember, I think he was the last guy of all the at least the first wave of contract extension coaches from Penn State that we saw. He was the last one to actually get that extension. So I think he was their white whale, right?
Yep.
And they just got outbid. They got outbid, by A&M. At that point, I don't know what their backup plan was. I think it probably should have been Bob Chesney, who's now going to UCLA for whatever reason.
I want to get into that, so put a pin in that.
All right. Yeah. So I don't know, man. I think it was being maybe a little bit hubris on their part, thinking, hey, we can do better than what James Franklin's providing us. We can be Ohio State, but they're not going to be Ohio State. They got caught in the trap of trying to project themselves onto other people's, standards and expectations. They're Penn State. Be Penn State. They do it. Do what Penn State does. Don't try to be Ohio State. And that cost them. That cost them dearly. I mean, right now we all should be applying for the Penn State job because at this point, who knows? I mean, right?
Yeah.
So
it's just, I don't know. But let's go to Chesney. We'll start there because there are a lot of these. UCLA. I'd heard that, whatever the advances that were made by Penn State early on seemed to be rebuffed relatively quickly from Chesney. I think they kept him kind of on the back burner. His eye appeared to be someplace else. Are you surprised, given his background, that he picked the left coast in Pasadena?
Well, I think it has to, twofold there, right? I think it has to do with the standard that Penn State has already set for themselves, saying, hey, if you drop below this James Franklin level, we're going to fire you, okay? And two, how would you be able to, these guys, Chesney, Franklin, any head coach, they have to think a lot of themselves, right? That confidence has to be there as a head coach.
Mm-hmm.
How would you be able to walk into that building knowing that you were the second, third, fourth choice, right? And try to win that press conference, try to win over that program, knowing that, hey, I was the fallback plan. So you take that mindset and just the standard knowing of what he was going to have to achieve at Penn State, and then you kind of smear that with, hey, I can go to UCLA, who has very, very, very low expectations, and I'm their white whale. They want me here. I'm their home run.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that kind of gives you some insight of kind of why he may have rebuffed Penn State when they finally came around to him.
Do you think they get in that specific situation? I think we see that play out quite a bit. Do you think guys that are the home run get a longer runway than guys that are third, fourth, fifth choice?
So absolutely. I mean, we just went through that here, didn't we, in Lincoln?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
touche.
I mean, let's not rehash that whole saga, but I think that wouldn't have lasted as long as it did if it wasn't the home run hire, right? So I think that does buy you a few more years, because people you have that that credibility coming in that, hey, you're the guy and you can get this done, whereas you're coming in as the fallback option of, well, we'll give this guy a shot, but if he doesn't get it done right away, then maybe we move on quickly.
So,
I mean,
let me ask you something. Could you see a scenario, and I guess anything's possible after how Kiffin played his hand and people went along with it, but could you see a world in which Lincoln Riley may be on the move somewhere other than staying at SC?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you hear he fought with the alumni there, trying to get out of the Notre Dame series. He's sick and tired of having to travel, across the country, for their schedule. I mean, he's got some gripes that you've kind of quietly heard in the corner there. He's kind of snuck out the back door before of a blue blood program. Yeah. So it's fool me once, that and how that whole saying goes. I can see him doing it, but where would he go right now, honestly? Because Florida's filled, LSU's filled. I don't think he's leaving one coast of the Big Ten to the other coast of the Big Ten for Penn State. I think right now, if Lincoln or Ivy were to leave, it would be for an NFL position at the end of the year.
Is Dable an attractive candidate with? And I don't know how you do with your NFL data, but is he an attractive college candidate?
In this climate, not as attractive as he would have been maybe a decade or so ago. Because for the fact that he can't bring anybody with him.
Yeah.
He's Penn State's got a bunch of players that are probably going to leave. All right, because they were James Franklin guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
Along with whoever Franklin brings from that coaching staff with him to Blacksburg. Brian Daboll's coming in and he has to start from scratch. Okay, he's never coached at a college program, as a head coach. He's got a great track record as an offensive coordinator in the short time he did that at Alabama. Okay, but once again, Alabama talent difference between them and their roster and who they play is much different than Penn State and who they play. They still are very talented rosters, but Alabama is usually in another tier. That to me would be a high risk hire. And if you're going to do that, swallow the pill and go hire Brian Kelly. I mean I know he's got a lot of ick with him, especially from his all the things that came out after he left Notre Dame and then now after he's left LSU. But if you're going to drop down to where you're taking on that type of risk, then I would like to see Penn State probably pursue Brian Kelly before Brian Daboll.
Interesting, because I think we've forgotten about Kelly during this coaching cycle, but man, people couldn't wait to whack him once he left LSU. Like some of these, and I get it, there's always two sides, but I don't know if it's the Kelly name, but between he and Chip, like they give zero cares about like it's incredible given the success that both those guys have had.
Yeah, I mean those guys are gruff guys and they don't want to deal with any of the fluff. They don't have to deal with the NIL side of things. They just want to coach football. And that's as sad as it kind of sounds, that's kind of going by the wayside these days. You kind of have to have a jack of all trades at that head coaching position, somebody that can fundraise, who can bring the support for the NIL, who can shake hands, kiss babies, smile for the cameras, and not fake an accent at press conferences. I mean, those type of things. They want somebody who can win the fan base, who can. Gone are the days of just the coach that can lock himself in a room and come up with a good game plan and go coach ball and win. I mean, look at what happened at East Lansing. That's a perfect example.
That's
right?
Oh man,
that's a good ball coach that they let go. Jonathan Smith is a very good ball coach. And
I agree.
From what we've heard, it was a lack of desire to engage with some of the boosters in NIL that kind of got him in the end. He just wanted to coach ball and be left alone, and you can't do that anymore. So, that's kind of where we're at.
Let's talk about Matt Campbell here for a second, because he's the latest name that's popped up with Penn State, and we've seen him rebuff what I would consider much better jobs than the Penn State job. I mean, he was allegedly in the running at Texas. He was allegedly in the running at places like USC. Do you think he would be a good fit at Penn State? And B, where do you guys kind of see Matt Campbell? Because I'm a big fan, but I'm curious what your numbers say on him.
Oh, yeah, we like Matt Campbell as well. We have Matt Campbell kind of in the same range as like you can compare him to like Brett Bielema. You can compare him to PJ Fleck, to even Matt Rule's kind of on the upper end of that. Coach Rule's on the upper end of that tier as well. Good coaches, very, very, very good coaches. Matt Campbell is in that mix of guys. Okay, that would be a great hire, especially at this point at Penn State.
Mm-hmm.
And you look at Matt Campbell's profile. He has done these things with roster talent that is that is, usually not quite of what he's playing. Okay, he's been able to swing up at the Giants in his conference and win all of those. He's also been able to get the type of talent he wants to Ames, Iowa. If he can do that, then Ames, Iowa is not all that different than State College, Pennsylvania. You just have a little bit more cachet behind the name. I think that would be actually a really good, really smart and good get for Penn State. They would have to get over the whole recruiting rankings type of thing, because Matt Campbell's not going to kowtow to the recruiting services and go, down a list of 4 and 5-star guys trying to get those guys. He's going to get the guys that fit his system the best. And that's something that he would have to really, Penn State fans would have to really be able to stomach, not seeing their name at the top of the recruiting rankings every year. But if they were to do that and they were to be patient with Matt Campbell, I think that could work.
Man, I just don't see why of all the things he's turned down, why now? But let me go ahead. Now, I'm not saying that he should do it from his point of view.
Yeah.
But
Penn State, that would be a good thing for them.
Let me ask you about Auburn. And I had to take a double take and make sure it was something that Auburn did. Because it looks good on the surface. Mm-hmm. What does the data say?
Auburn. Okay, let's hope we don't have a lot of Auburn fans in the Omaha Metro. So I'm about to make them really mad. That was a big swing and a miss there. Okay, we're not a fan of Grolish. Okay, it took him 5 years at South Florida to have a winning record. All right. That is with some of the better, talent on his roster in that conference. This reminds me a lot of Willie Taggart. That's who this reminds me of. Oof. So their profiles are very, very similar. They both, had 4 years of garbage and then 1 good year at the end of that garbage heap, and nobody dug deep enough to see below that 1 good year of, hey, who is this guy really? Okay, that and then the whole thing of, hey, you can come here, but you have to retain the entire defensive staff. That doesn't work very often. It just doesn't.
Are you a Durkin guy?
Yeah, we're a Durkin guy. Durkin's a very good defensive coordinator. Yeah, but you can't tell me that when times get tough there, Durkin's not going to be thinking in the back of his mind, hey, I can outcoach this guy any day of the week. What am I doing as a defensive coordinator? He's the senior. He's the senior coach in the room. You have a young lion and an old lion in the same cage now. Let's see what happens here. And it doesn't usually end well for one of them. So I don't like the fact that he's forcing the Auburn. One, they got passed on by Summerall. I think once Lane said no to Florida, I think Summerall was going to Florida, and then I think Auburn wanted Summerall. So I think Grolish was their backup option. I think him coming in and being forced to retain that entire defensive staff is a misstep. So we'll see how all this works, and it'll all buff out in the end. But that's not something we would ever prescribe to any of our clients who are asking for our opinion.
Adam, which hire in this cycle did you like the most?
Oh man, so right now, I know everybody's all over Lane Kiffin to LSU, and that is, okay, Lane's going to win at LSU.
Yeah.
But right now, just relative to the program level of where they're at, there are 2 programs that I think have done a really good job. Virginia Tech, getting James Franklin, I think that is a perfect fit for them. He's going to recruit, the Tidewater region like you've never seen before, especially now that he's been spurned by somebody. He's got that chip back on his shoulder. Mm-hmm. And I think Oklahoma State did an excellent job of hiring Eric Morris from North Texas.
I agree.
That one kind of went below the radar.
I completely agree. For what they are and how that whole thing fell apart and how they're connected to one coach from a success standpoint, I thought Okie State's hire was fantastic.
Oh yeah, they like I said, both those programs they knocked it out of the park. Those 2, I would actually put those 2 probably above Lane Kiffin going to LSU. Like, I know Lane Kiffin's the big name. He's going to do well there. He's going to be very successful. But LSU, they had to pick the litter, right? So it's not really hard to, if you have to pick the litter, it's not really hard to pick the best guy. I think Virginia Tech and Oklahoma State, as far as where their programs are at, hired up the best.
Let me ask you. Let's get to Nebraska and defensive coordinators. You know, at one point during this season, we had seen a 5 or 6% increase in Nebraska's defensive efficiency, and then the wheels came off. Just wasn't enough data. Uncharacteristic, doesn't happen often. Or this is kind of the point of no return. You had to do what you had to do.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of why we wait to the end of the year to upgrade to update all the grades for our coaches and things like that. We don't typically do it mid-year. We take peeks of see where guys are at, where they're trending, right? But we try to wait to the end of the year because things like this can happen. He got
Is it common?
It's not common, no. It's not common to absolutely just fall off a cliff like he did after, right about the USC game, right? From that point on, it was it was a pretty stark difference from the beginning of the season. And some of that might have been the style of team they played changed a little bit. So maybe that exposed some things that were happening there. I'm not an X's and O's guy, so I just kind of see the data, but I can say that that's where the wheels came off was after USC. He got to a point, his efficiency level got to a point where we kind of our dead man walking zone, okay, and he fell below that, so it was very justified what Coach ruled, and in fact, it was probably prudent what he did to get it done this year, because once guys fall into that range, I think it's like a 3% chance that they come back out of that and actually be successful in their career. So it's at that point, a guy kind of is who he is, and it's time to move on. I'm sure Coach Butler is a wonderful, wonderful coach, wonderful person. It just didn't work out here.
So the direction of the radar? We have our wish lists and we chime in with a lot of opinions. What do your numbers? What do your guys? Excuse me. What do you say?
Well, I can't really go into everything in super detail, but there are some guys that if any client came to us and asked, that there are a few guys that we would point them to, especially for a program that's in the Midwest and in the Big Ten Conference. We really like Vince Curious, Toledo. We really like
Vince Curious at Toledo. That's interesting.
He's been getting a lot of run on Twitter lately.
Yeah, he's done a terrific job at Toledo. He's also been a very successful head coach in his life as well. So that is a guy that's very attractive to us. Scott Simons is always on the radar just because of what he's been able to do, transforming SMU from a kind of an offensive first program in his first to a defensive rock steady defense in his first 3 years there. So he's another one that we like to talk about to most of our clients. For Big Ten specific schools, we would also, I don't know what the situations like out in Washington. Ryan Walters is always on the radar. He's always, considered a very good defensive coordinator. Another guy that we like that people don't talk a lot about is he's down in New Mexico right now. His name's Spence Nowinski, and he's
with Eck, right?
Yes. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Their turnaround has been incredible, but I'm an Eck guy just because of where he's come from and my familiarity with that program.
Oh, we could have a whole other segment talking about Eck. We are big Eck fans.
I mean, he's got to be like that job that he's done there has been nothing short of incredible.
Well, yeah, and you peel back that onion a little bit. It's not only that, but look what he did at Idaho when he got there.
Yeah. Well, and he wanted. So Dan Jackson, before South Dakota State offered, was in New Mexico for like a cup of coffee. I mean, that was one of Eck's must gets, and you know how I feel about Dan Jackson. So it's like I've watched Eck for a while. New Mexico was bad, and they're bowling comfortably.
Yeah, in their first year, and it's not really been. I mean, they've been bludgeoning teams at times. I mean. And same thing happened at Idaho when he got there. Idaho at the FCS level wasn't known for anything, and in his first year there, he took them to the playoff. I mean, So I don't want to because there's only one Curt Cignetti. Okay, there's only one of those guys.
I agree.
Those guys don't.
Thank you
happen.
for saying
They're a
that.
unicorn. They're a unicorn. The data shows it. He is a complete anomaly. Programs who are chasing the next Curt Cignetti are just going to continue to whiff. But if there's a guy who's close to what Curt Cignetti could be, it's Jason Eck. Jason Eck is that guy, because he walks into a program and he immediately finds success, and not just a little success, immediate big success. So Jason Eck is the name. Like I said, I could go on a whole segment just talking about Jason Eck and the job he's done at both stops he's been at.
You're going to break my heart if you don't talk about Justin Wilcox.
So, okay, let's talk about Justin Wilcox a little bit. So,
oh man, I know your delivery.
Yeah. So we wouldn't necessarily recommend him to anybody in the Big Ten right now who needs an immediate upgrade. He hasn't coached in the region for the last 10 years or so. Okay. His Cal defenses, Peter Sermon, his kind of cohort and defensive play caller left him last year. This is the first year he's called plays without him there. And the Cal defense noticeably took a dip. Okay. That's not something we typically like to see. When you lose parts and your efficiency drops off a cliff, kind of like the Cal defense did this year, that means that part you lost is probably a little bit more, to credit than for that success than maybe you were. So Justin Wilcox, while he's a very good defensive coordinator, we like Justin Wilcox. We have him in like the 4-star range, which is really good. I just wouldn't recommend him for what Nebraska's trying to do right now.
Because you need the quick turnaround.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
All right.
That is our guy, Adam McClintock.
Thanks, Mac.
I'm sure we will talk again soon, because I want to get into some college football playoff scenarios next time. So maybe we'll catch you early
Just ask him
next week and get you as
good.
well.
Yep.
That is our guy, Adam
Thanks,
McClintock
Adam.
from Matrix
Thanks,
Analytical. We're going to talk to head coach of the Iowa Western Reavers, Scott STROHMEIER, coming up next. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. It's Hurrdat Sports Live.
I think the players probably feel it more, to be honest, because they're the ones that they're seeing and reading and hearing more of the outside noise. I think as a coach, you're a little more focused on the task at hand, and there's a lot, especially into these tournament weekends where you're prepping for 3 teams in 3 days. So there's a lot that goes into that, and you're still doing the other parts of your job. So I certainly can empathize with the players that they're feeling a lot of pressure and expectations. And I think that's a staff's job to take as much of that off of them as we possibly can, whether it's through messaging, the way we coach, the way we're communicating. There weren't really too many lows. Just in general, there's there's things here and there. People get tired, a little banged up, but yeah, there really weren't too many lows. But that's what I mean. We were out of them quick.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DBM Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. We are joined now by Scott STROHMEIER, the head coach of your Iowa Western Reavers. Coach, how are we doing this morning?
I'm doing pretty good. How you doing?
Coach, did you slide us in between meetings?
I'm sliding you in between a doctor's appointment and a meeting.
You're something else, man. I see a couple of weeks. So is it easier to be on the sidelines watching and kind of doing your thing like when we saw you over off of 89th and Pacific, or is it breaking off one of these calls on a game day, which for me is normally taboo for you guys? So I appreciate you making time.
Yeah, no, my pleasure. Either way.
Yeah, my man. I told Ravi, I said, why couldn't they played this game yesterday? Tyler gets a heat wave.
I know.
Today, man, right? Like we're whining over a high of 32, man. Could you imagine getting off the bus yesterday? They're like, wait, what the?
Exactly. Someone said it was 59 degrees when they left, and whenever they got in, it was -2. So.
Well, shoot, man. I was wondering, guys that I played with that came from warmer places, they didn't even have winter coats. You think they had to go shopping real quick?
I guarantee you they had to go shopping. and probably Dick's Sporting Goods was probably sold out of everything.
So how are you feeling, man? It's the semis. I know it's hard not to not be appreciative, but gosh, you're used to this. It's at your place, man. How you guys feeling?
Well, I think like right now, I think we're playing. Excuse me, my voice. I'm losing my voice, but not good before a game. But I think we're playing our best ball. That's kind of been our MO. We started the season and trying to find our core group of guys and the roles that they're going to play, and we've been playing like top-notch defense again.
Man.
And our offense is really coming, has been clicking, and kind of, like I said, we've had a lot of injuries, but you're finding those things help you down the road when guys are healthy, and now you have other guys with game experience.
Shoot, I know Coach Blackburn revs high, and Terry's right behind him, and those guys bark quite a bit on that side of the ball, man. But the numbers, it's funny. I look at stats, and then you look at the personalities. Nothing screams Blackburn and Terry and that defensive staff like Havoc. Your Havoc stats defensively. Are we serious right now?
Yeah, I to be honest with you, it's almost like every year. Like it was 2 years ago, I didn't think we'd ever see another defense at junior college like we had that year. I mean, it was unbelievable. And then, last year was still really good, and this year, like I don't even know, 60 sacks.
60 some odd sacks and another 60 in tackles for losses.
TFLs, and that from the D-line standpoint, I mean, like I said, Coach Terry does an unbelievable job, and to have that, I think, and I think the biggest thing is these kids buy into what we're trying to do, and they believe in it. And I mean, the schedule that we played, like some teams, 60 sacks. You look at that, and you look at some of their non-conference games. Well, yeah, I can see how some of them get inflated. Well, our two non-conferences against Georgia Military, which was only loss was to us, and Snow College, who's in a bowl game. And they put those numbers up with no cupcake on the schedule.
Coach, you talked about kind of finding your guys and playing your best ball at the end of the season. Obviously, you take the one early loss to Hutchinson, but now you're rolling. You put up 60 in back-to-back weeks. Where have you seen the most growth from your team from the start of the year until now?
Well, I think offensively, it's just a confidence from our quarterback. His confidence levels kept getting better and better and better. And really, the biggest thing is from our defensive line standpoint, but it's our number twos, because we play them all so much, right? So you see some of those number twos that are elevating their game.
You guys are playing 9D linemen. 10.
I know. And it's like, there's times I'll look and be like, Coach, maybe we should get our starters back in there. But I mean, that's just the way we've been doing it. Like Coach Terry does it, and keeps them fresh. And when you can play nine D linemen deep, and there's a drop off. There's a different level and skill for sure. But they play with such high intensity and a high motor that, you know, you don't see many offensive lines switching mid drive, right? Well, we're switching mid drive sometimes, you know, and all 4 of them are in.
Do you kind of like, we talked a couple of years ago, and I remember it was either at one of your kids' games or you were at one of ours, and we were talking about recruiting and how it's changed with the portal, and we were kind of still in the middle of COVID. We're on the back end of that a little bit. And have you seen a bump? Has it changed the way that your guys are valued? And I'll get to the new calendar in a sec, but like, do you like that you're kind of back on the map? Do you feel like junior college is getting its just due yet?
Yeah, you know, it's still a little bit off now. Like you said, we made it through the COVID era, and it was slow for us. And then all of a sudden we get through that and we think, okay, we got it navigated, and then bam, they throw this transfer portal thing on us, and which we're navigating through that too. But what we're seeing now is schools, you know, I try to tell guys all the time, our guys are looking for a scholarship. They're not looking for money. Yes, you guys get paid. Gotcha. Yes, they do. Huh. But my guys are looking for a scholarship. And so some of these schools that can't go out and buy their portal kids, they're realizing now, like, there's some really good junior college kids out here that maybe in the past we wouldn't be able to get.
Huh.
You know, and so now some of them are coming back in, and, you know, we're seeing it a little bit more. It's not what it used to be still prior to COVID, but we are seeing a gradual, you know, increase now again. And I mean, at the end of the day, the people getting hurt are the high school kids with the portal. And so we're getting a better high school kid right now too. You know,
can you imagine being a high school quarterback?
Oh my gosh. I mean, exactly. And I even told my quarterback, you know, Malachi, the same thing. Like, he's really talented.
Yeah.
But I said, but I'm like, the school is not looking at junior college right now because they're going to wait to see if, you know, Alabama's backup enters the portal.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
You know?
So back to your point, you said something I think it's got to be intentional because you're always reinventing yourself anyway. So are you looking for guys that are just hungry to want an opportunity? You said they just want a scholarship, and it resonates with me because if you're finding guys that are, and you're preaching, just give me a chance, those guys want to eat too, right? So
exactly.
It's easier to feed guys that are hungry if those are the guys you're targeting. Is it all go together?
Yeah, for sure it does. You know, I mean, that's what we've said from day one. Like, I want some guys with some chips on their shoulder. They want to prove some people wrong. You know, like, you know, I'm not getting recruited to the level I think, or I know somebody who's playing at at Division I level, and I'm not getting those opportunities. And that's what I mean, I could go on with a list of Division II transfers that we've had that came here and ended up playing FBS football. You know, and again, those are the hungry guys. Now, I've also had some Power 4 big time recruits come. They don't buy into the system necessarily all the time. Not all of them, but I mean, so because they've had everything, they've been at the highest stage. It's a 6-month pit stop. They're not vested in Iowa Western and Reaver football and how we do things. But I'll tell you what, those kids who come in and want to prove some people wrong, they do buy in.
Coach, let me ask you this, because I'm kind of fascinated by this dynamic, right? Of you've got guys that you all know, like, this is not their final spot that they want to be at, right? They're looking for a scholarship. So that's a unique dynamic in and of itself. But you found a way to recruit those kids and win at a super high level, at a super consistent level.
Every year.
Yeah. How do you marry those two things of like, hey, there is a very specific individual goal that everyone here is trying to achieve.
Like you're trying to get guys to play together that don't want to be like their goal is to get out.
Yeah. How do you convince them that winning is the best way to get out?
Oh, that's ultimately the challenge every single year, you know, and again, part of it is we consistently now been able to have guys return for, some of them for their second year. And we have a couple that redshirted and they're here for their third year. A couple of those D linemen, they redshirted as freshmen, played last year, maybe didn't play at the level they wanted to play and came back, and now they're playing at an extremely high level. You have to rely on those guys to continue with what the expectations are. I can sit up there till I'm blue in the face, telling them, this is this, and but when it's player driven, and I have a couple former coaches or players or coaches now that played for me in the program that can kind of carry some of those their experiences, and it is the number one challenge, but success. I say this at any level, but especially at this level. One year we started 1-3. And to be honest with you, I told our staff, I said, we got to get some wins here, or this could get really ugly. From a buy-in standpoint.
Sure.
Not, from a buy-in and wanting to play for the team rather than just individual stats. Luckily, we rattled off 8 straight, so we finished 9-3. But the point being is, success helps that. And then when, if you, we lose the first game or the second game of the year this year, and, in years past, without a playoff, you could think we're out of it, and now we've got a little bit more to continue to play for. But I still think it's the players that do it. And you gotta find your right ones, and then we talk to them. This is how we do things here. And so it's not just coming from me, or my assistant coaches of, this is how we do it. But, they followed us and they know, and if they were in the program, they know what the older guys have, done before.
Coach, how are you literally, and this is maybe just part of the culture and who you and your staff are, but right, the portal opens on the 2nd. Guys want to get an opportunity. And oh, by the way, if you win the night, there's this huge national championship game.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to stay dialed and in the moment. Is that just an extension of the, hey, if you handle your business, this is your best chance?
Yeah. I don't know. We could have a whole hour conversation on this calendar.
That's why I love talking to you, right? And I haven't even gotten to the calendar yet.
The thing is so we had some guys sign on Wednesday, right? Maybe 6 or 7 guys sign, and what I tried to stress so we've sent a lot of kids on to play Power 4 football here. In all of our time, one player has made the college football playoff and played in a national championship game. That was Namdi Obiazor at TCU. One player. So I try to stress, and the reason I bring this up is we go Thanksgiving weekend, right? And guys want to go home, and I did give them some time off because we have guys who got to go on visits because there's no time to visit, right?
There's that too.
And then guys are like, well, Coach, I can't get back until I said, listen, there's a chance, really good chance, you'll never in the history, no disrespect to you or your school that you're going to, but the last time I checked, in Ohio State's not knocking down our doors for our players, right? So the chance for you to play, I don't care if it's junior college, I don't care if it's high school, I don't care if it's NAIA, not many guys can say that they played in a national championship game or in the college football playoff, right? And so we try to stress that to them, knows, and for pretty much, I mean, our guys did a really good job, but it's so hard, like I said, their finals are this week or next week, signing, some kids don't have offers but haven't committed, don't know what they're doing, some don't have offers, so the stress that's brought in. But this is I said, the time for you to relieve your stress is that practice and games. That's, I mean, you don't have to think about nothing. Because every one of you guys love the game of football. That's what you said, right? You love the game of football. So let's go do something we love to do.
Let me I got to get to Tyler here at least a little bit before one more big picture question. What challenges does it present? I get it, explosive offensive team. You guys typically rise to that level. You see in some places where you can make some hay or things that maybe on the other end concern you with an explosive bunch like this.
Yeah, I mean, that's where the line of scrimmage, I know that's coach speak, but the line of scrimmage has been in our playoff games that we've brought teams that we haven't played before to here. We won the line of scrimmage on the offense and the defensive side of the ball. I feel like they don't necessarily see a group like even the opponents we see up front, in the Midwest, right? And so that's where we beat Northwest Mississippi twice up front. We beat Kilgore 2 years ago, and hopefully tonight it's the line of scrimmage. But their skill is really skilled, But if we can control those two up front, we got to run the football. I mean, everybody says that, but and control, because they're explosive on offense and they throw it around a little bit, So everybody knows in Texas, right? They got 4 Texas wide receivers that can run. And so we got to keep things in front of us. But I just think, the weather, the mental mindset. I mean, we went outside and practiced on not yesterday, but the day before. And our guys are, I'm like, this is what we're going to be playing. And, and they, it takes them a little bit to get going, but I mean, they, it was good.
I tell guys too, in games like this with temps, with each hard hit, man, the temp drops for the losing team about 2 degrees per busted bolt, man. So it's
I want to say it was one year we played here and it was really, really cold. And one of the players came over it might have been the second quarter. And he's like, we hit one of their better players, hit him out of bounds. We were up 21-0, 21-7 or something. He came over. He's like, Coach, this game's over. I'm like, what are you talking about? Our player just said, this is too damn cold out here. Good luck in the championship game. And it's the second quarter. I'm like, okay.
Oh shoot, man.
Coach, we appreciate the time. Good luck tonight, and hopefully we'll talk to you again maybe in a couple of weeks, and you'll have something to celebrate with us.
That would be awesome. I appreciate guys.
It's the only time I'm breaking out a winter coat, man. So I know you won't disappoint, man. Wishing you the best.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
That is Coach STROHMEIER, the head football coach of your Iowa Western Reavers. If he needs an extra running back in this class, I know of a guy that's it's pretty good. I think so.
You got a guy?
Yeah, you know of a guy. So just saying.
You like him a lot.
I do. I think he's really good, and I think his attitude fits exactly what, and I don't know him, but just the way he runs, his attitude seems like it lines up exactly.
Have you talked to Coach Burrell?
I have. I talked to Coach Kinney.
Okay.
I talked to BK about it a little bit because I wanted to make sure his academics weren't an issue.
How much of a joy is BK?
Oh, I love BK. BK is the best.
An absolute joy.
Yeah. I don't know Coach Burrell personally, so I don't have a connection with him, but I know BK a little bit. I did have somebody pass along Isaiah Traylor's name to Coach STROHMEIER, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. He started to get some NAI offers, so
I'm a big Coach Stroh guy.
No, his temperament I will always think JUCO jobs are some of the hardest jobs in the country. Just what the nature of that is. That's why I asked the question that I did about pairing individual goals with team success. Like, that's really hard.
Even with the bad, whatever that series was with the junior college, your boy's still making a living.
Yeah.
Being belligerent on social media.
Yeah.
Just to know that, like, their DC, like Blackburn he's their academics guy too.
Yeah.
So you have your DC.
I also appreciate that, where like I've been in those places where everybody's got more than one job.
Yeah.
Right. Everybody's got more than one job. It's like, yeah, like when I was coaching basketball around here, like our head coach was more on top of those guys' academics than anybody. Right. Like grade reports come straight to the head coach, and like phone calls if you got an issue,
sweeping up a little bit, opening up the gym.
Shoot, man, you know any idea how many times I cleaned a basketball gym floor? Like, it's just what it is.
It's crazy too.
So I have a huge level of appreciation for guys at smaller schools and junior colleges where you don't have a lot of the things. And JUCO especially, I never coached at JUCO. Those jobs are so hard.
Yeah, I'll take the Reavers by 28 tonight.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm in. Let's go. Let's bring another natty back. All right.
All heads to bed. That 60-some sacks, another 60 tiffles.
Mm-hmm. And this is one.
I was talking to Aaron, our coach Terry.
Yeah.
The other day he was at West Side with him and Coach Blackburn, and just those guys. Like they just got to be menaces on that side of the ball. I just know their personalities.
Yeah.
You're playing 10D linemen. like nothing. Just rotate in.
Yeah, just like, hey, line change. Next ones.
Now the offense is getting it going.
Next
too.
ones. Yeah, I definitely appreciate that. And it's cool to have a team that successful here locally. And this is one thing where I will say I agree with Captain. I will never understand the lack of a relationship between the University of Nebraska and Iowa Western. That seems like the most natural thing in the world.
We've been saying this a while.
It seems like the most natural thing in the world. It seems like the easiest thing in the world. Obviously, Coach Stroh's an easy guy to root for, and it seems like wouldn't be a hard guy to work with. I'll never understand it. I just won't. They send a lot of guys, like you said, they send a lot of guys to Power 4 schools.
I was just playing it because you're agreeing with Captain.
Let's take a quick break here. I knew what he was doing.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Over my head.
Let's take a quick break here. We still have to get to bet on it, and we've got conference championship weekend, so we will get to that to end the show. Also, I know we've had some snow today. Mike, some more snow this weekend.
I hope not. Shane just casually threw that out.
If you had a little trouble out there on the roads, maybe got in a little accident or something, go check out our friends at Dingman's Collision Center. You could go to a national place and whatever, but they're locally owned and operated here. They've got the latest technology and experts to make sure your repair is done safely and to the highest possible standard. Go check them out, dingmans.com. There's a reason they've been voted first place best of Omaha for 20 straight years. We will do bet on it coming up next year on Hurrdat Sports Live.
You know, I think the players probably feel it more, to be honest, because they're the ones that they're seeing and reading and hearing more of the outside noise. I think as a coach, you're a little more focused on the task at hand, and there's a lot, especially into these tournament weekends where you're prepping for 3 teams in 3 days, so there's a lot that goes into that, and you're still doing the other parts of your job. So I certainly can empathize with the players that they're feeling a lot of pressure and expectations. And I think that's a staff's job to take as much of that off of them as we possibly can, whether it's through messaging, the way we coach, the way we're communicating. I mean, there weren't really too many lows. Just in general, there's there's things here and there. People get tired, a little banged up, but yeah, there really weren't too many lows. But that's what I mean. We were out of them quick.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
We're back here on Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DBM Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. It is time for Bet On It, brought to you by War Horse Casino and Sportsbook. It is the best place in Nebraska to place your sports bets. Listen, you're going to have to drive to make your bet somewhere anyway. Don't drive to Iowa. Don't give them their money. You keep that money right here in the state of Nebraska.
Coming home from Holy Ghost last night, I headed straight south on old Ellis Street.
Yeah.
Guess what I saw? All blinged and lit up.
Warhorse.
Yeah.
Go check it out. You can eat some food while you're there. Maybe play some table games while you're there. You can have a good old time. And you can't do that from your car in a parking lot sad over there on the other side of the river. So make sure you stay here. I've seen people do it. It looks depressing.
Yeah, you're talking. I have a mutual friend that does that.
I know. A lot of people do.
He said he sits at the same.
Yeah, they go to like a fast food parking lot. Listen, go have a good time. Make an experience out of it. Go to Warhorse. Keep your money in the state where it belongs. Every dollar you spend helps the Iowa Hawkeyes. That's what I'm going to tell you. Over there. Every dollar you spend.
They already are.
That's public money.
Trying to own the state.
It's a public university. Prove me wrong. So it is time for Bet On It here. We've got the conference championship slate. Starting off tonight, we've got two very pertinent group of 5 games tonight.
Pertinent.
What the world? That means relevant to what's happening in the larger context.
That
Pertinent.
dessert cake is kicking in. It's not even a breakfast thing, too, man.
It's like a pastry. What's the difference between that and a pastry?
Did that have red sprinkles on it?
No, it's got red stripes, like the beer, and then green sprinkles.
Oh, it was just a little picture. I didn't see it.
I had like a Lincoln family.
Yeah.
Mike and Judy Ohm.
Okay.
Really good people. They always would cook for a couple of us, me, Lawrence, Clint. We would they lived around the corner from us. And he was when he splurged, they're pretty blue collar.
Mm-hmm.
When he splurged, he would drink Red Stripe.
I just liked the commercials.
And I'm like, Red Stripe?
Yeah.
And Mike Ohm, he was a big Red Stripe guy.
Great commercials. Incredible
Isn't it weird
commercials.
how, that was
like the things you remember.
33 years ago.
Yeah. That's probably the first time you thought about Red Stripe since then.
Yeah. It's probably the last time I had pot roast, too.
Not a big pot roast guy.
No.
Are you a big James Madison 23.5 point favorite guy?
Yeah. Lay it, don't spray it.
There we go. Let's get to Tulane, North Texas. North Texas, 2.5 point favorite. Tulane going through the coaching change. How you feeling?
So the coaching change is throwing me for a loopy-loop.
Yeah, me too. I don't know what to do here.
But the number should be a smidge bigger.
Yeah. What would you have made it?
4.
Okay.
All things being equal, I don't like.
I mean, both teams
the
are going through a
2.5.
coaching change. Yeah.
Give me the green wave.
Going Tulane.
Yep. Like
right.
the highway, baby.
Tulane and 2 chains. All right. So we've got
my partner.
JMU and Tulane. I'm going to skip ahead to 1 because those 2 games, speaking of being pertinent, are directly related to this one. Duke and Virginia. Virginia is a -4 favorite. If Duke is able to pull this upset off, both of the winners of that game, if it's JMU and whoever wins the Tulane North Texas game, are in your college football playoff. I think.
I don't know if Duke's winning it, but they sure are covering the 4.
I mean, there's not a lot of leeway between covering 4 and winning outright.
It could be a game-winning field goal.
It absolutely could.
I'm just OT and you don't get the 2-point conversion.
I'm just saying, if you're in,
you're going to get all 160 on that money line?
Maybe. I'm just saying, if you're in the neighborhood of covering -4, you're not too far from thinking Duke can win it.
Yeah, I'll for sure take the 4.
There we go. All right. BYU and Texas Tech. -12.5 for the Red Raiders.
I get it. They put a
whooping on.
I was getting on the elevator that was UCLA weekend.
Because
I was getting on the elevator and Coach Rule was coming back from the gym. He's the only dude on the elevator. It was very awkward.
Why?
Because I had to talk. And we only said about 7 things. And it was the physicality of Texas Tech.
Yeah.
And I said, that D-line's paying dividends. And he said, yeah, if you want to build a roster that way. I was like, I'm not saying another word. Have a good rest of your workout.
You think it bothers him because that's his guy?
I mean, that was the sense that I got.
Yeah.
I didn't want to read into it, but.
Yeah. I think about that a lot.
Oh, it cut me off.
You're like, oh, I guess we're cool.
It's weird. It's 2 people riding another 7 floors.
Silently.
Yeah. I don't even think I said, all right, then. I just was like.
Well, see ya.
It was very.
So do you like him the -12.5? You seem like you think that's a touch high.
Yeah, give me the Cougs.
All right.
They got the Salaki.
Sataki.
They got the Sataki. Well, I'm black. I like Takis. They got the.
I thought that was a Hispanic thing.
Not the chili limon. I like the hot.
Oh, okay.
Not the.
Not the what?
I've been talking to Happer too long. They got the Sataki bump.
Yeah,
I think 12.5 is a smidge too much. I don't love it.
You'd have made it what, like 9.5, 10.5?
Probably 10.
Yeah.
And I could see it being 10.
Georgia, Alabama.
Georgia.
Minus the 2.5. You won all the points?
Yep.
I mean, I assume you think they went out. Like, you think they kind of put it on them a little bit or no?
More wishful thinking.
Gotcha.
But I could see, touchdown wouldn't surprise me.
Is Alabama in if they get their head kicked in?
I just
like say they lose by 17.
And it turns into a Notre Dame Miami discussion. And the committee already they hoodwinked you by putting Bama where they did, having them jump Notre Dame.
Yeah, they gave them an out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot more wiggle room, which is weird.
The game of the day. Indiana, Ohio State, 1 versus 2. Ohio State's a 4-point favorite.
Yeah, I don't love Ohio State offensively, and I think Indiana is really good defensively. We get a lot of Mendoza talk, but
can't wait.
Do we have any guests just for the weekend? I made it through this week, and I didn't think I was. So shout out me and getting to hear Gus Johnson.
Attaboy.
I know, it's baby steps.
Proud of you.
Thank you. I'm proud of me, and I did it relatively of normal mind.
Unbelievable.
Shane, one more time for old time's sake, please. He said, "Give the eyes
Unbelievable."
Kyle, I apologize if you're listening because that pissed Kyle off. He's like, you're not even going to remember who caught the touchdown because all we're going to be talking about is how Gus Johnson screwed up the call.
Unbelievable. Indiana, Ohio State. It sounds like you like the Hoosiers.
I do.
Went outright or just the 4?
For certainly taking the 4, but it's probably another 160 money line deal.
Yeah.
I'd dabble.
Dabbling, not day bowling. Dabbling.
Do I get what's the total?
47.5.
Yeah, it's gonna be low. I think it's gonna be low scoring.
I mean, we kind of saw that when they played Oregon. It's a 30-20. Like, I think
they do a good job of controlling
like
the
game
LOS.
control.
Yeah. I like the Hoosiers.
Taking the Hoosiers. There you go. That
history says I'm nuts because they never play well against anybody good.
Well, I mean, they've changed the narrative this year a little bit.
I feel about Oregon.
I know, but that's probably been their best win of the 2 years of Signetti. So maybe they've changed a little bit. Maybe Ohio State's still that program.
I mean, maybe
we will see. Unbelievable.
I'm gonna Google on TikTok all Gus Johnson calls. I'm just gonna play it in the car and drive around.
So what'll be the second best game to watch if it's not Ohio State?
Well, I mean, I think it's the SEC Big Ten. I think it's Georgia, Bama, and then
just those two,
and then Indiana, Ohio State.
Hey, what I would suggest, Shane, is get you one of those fancy TV dinners you've been investing in, and watch a little Tulane Highway in North Texas.
All right, I'm gonna be
a lot of green for you. Tulane has cool uniforms.
I do like the green.
Their mascot reminds me of your hair when you take your hat off.
No, that's really more of an Action Jackson, Jimmy Neutron
Jimmy
deal.
Neutron. Does he not like Jimmy Neutron?
I have no idea.
Well, after all the racist comments, I didn't think he wanted to be referred to as Carl Weathers, who was Action Jackson.
Carl Weathers is the GOAT. We love Carl Weathers.
Black.
R.I.P.
Is
Austin
okay with that?
I think so, man. I mean, listen.
How would he say his name?
Tyrone.
I thought it was Carl Weathers.
Racist.
Nah, never. That is Bet On It, though. Brought to you by Warhorse Sportsbook and Casino, the best place in Omaha to place your sports bets. Remember, every time you drive to Iowa, the Hawkeyes win. Knock it off. Stay right here in Nebraska.
That sounds awful.
So firm.
That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. That is the show for this week. We will be back on Monday. It's Hurrdat Sports Live.
See you. Have a good day. Love you.